Welcome, everybody, back to the second episode of Two Peas on a Porch.
Some people actually liked this for some reason.
And here we are.
So we're back again, baby.
Episode. My name is Caleb Sandlund, otherwise known as Gingium.
My name is Hunter Rollins. Hunter.
We also have a third P.
Yes, I was about to say.
There's a third P. I like how Zach called himself a third P as well. I like
think
that.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like two P's plus a third P.
Plus one. So who are you?
I am Bryce Sandlund. I am Caleb's older brother. Gingium's older brother.
Oldest?
Older.
No, he's got two older brothers.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you're one of those two, but
That's correct.
yes. So that's who we're having here today. It's going to be a fun, relaxed podcast. But to get it started, we're going to go ahead and shotgun some beers.
Hold on. I just need to preface this in saying that it is like, what time is it? It's 8:30 on a Monday night, and they just told me we're doing this.
Yeah, it was a surprise for Hunter.
It's a good
we're going to
surprise.
shotgun some
I literally
beers.
just had a conversation with somebody yesterday and said, I'm sober for the next month.
I feel bad now.
And it's like 24 hours later.
Well, we told you that you didn't have to do it.
Well,
it's an optional
no,
thing.
I can't be the. All right, okay.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. I guess we're doing it live.
Guests or listeners, if you guys want to join us in a shotgun, then you feel free to. But if you don't, that's also totally cool.
Because everyone's just going to be like sitting there on their couch like, oh, yeah, I'd like to shotgun a beer right now.
Hey, some people are about it.
If it was live, I could see it more. But like, what are the odds of somebody in a recording going to be like, heck yeah? Wait, actually, if anybody watches this, video you doing a shotgun as well.
Yeah, that'd be
and
great.
DM it to
Send
us.
us videos of
really
you shotgunning
funny.
with us.
It'd be
We'll
really
count it
funny
down
to
and
see.
stuff. All right, yeah. So it might get a little quiet for here for a second.
Well, I can
We're
talk
still here.
if you're setting it up.
Yeah, I guess we can all set it up. I mean, you should do ours two first, and then hand
This
it
is
to
the
us.
first time for
These
me.
guys need me to make their shotgun hole.
Well,
cool.
that's
So-
not the thing. The thing is that we're trying to record, and I don't have keys, so then we'd be all
So
chilling.
one of the things, this is the Two Peas on a Porch podcast, right? And one of the things is we are
On a porch.
dead set on filming this or recording this on my porch every episode.
Yep.
A factor that I did not quite think about is that it gets cold. There's like
Yep.
a cold season.
Yeah, it's called winter, I think.
Yeah, it's called winter.
Right.
But
Even though we're in the
I would
South.
love to have you guys know that we are still on my porch.
We're on the
We're
porch.
doing this. We've got blankets, beanies, jackets, the whole nine.
Yeah, we're cuddled up.
Oh,
Didn't
here we
spill
go.
it all. Perfect.
I'm not gonna lie. At some point, this might have to be an episode or two of Two Peas in a living room. Yeah, but this is an open porch. It's not going to heat very well.
We could get one of those stand things that they have at restaurants.
Hey, we can make it work.
Those are only like 50
If we want to
bucks.
spend like $100 of our budget on heating, electricity, you
Can
know?
we I just want to shout a little appreciation out to Caleb because remember, guys, last episode, we did not have any equipment. We were recording on Zach's, our friend, shout out Shooting Cars,
Yep.
Zach Pradle.
The guest
we were
of the last
recording
podcast.
on his equipment,
Mhm.
and obviously he went back to Chicago. We're here in Georgia, and we didn't have any. But we got so excited about the podcast and how well the first episode went that Caleb actually went and bought a pretty decent dollars worth of equipment to record this on. So
Yeah.
everybody give Caleb a big thanks because I'm broke. I didn't have the money, but he did it.
Yeah,
Shout out to Caleb. Hell yeah, Caleb.
maybe not the best investment, but we're here to have fun.
Yeah,
So,
well, like we said from
we'll
the
make it work.
beginning, this is not a job. This doesn't have anything to do with Gingium. This doesn't have anything to do with me and what I do with S3 Magazine or anything. It's literally just Caleb and I having a good time having conversations with people that are
We enjoy.
important to us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So it's really fun.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah.
And you know, moving forward, there's probably gonna be people you've never heard of on here, and you're just gonna have to be
Like
okay
Bryce
with
Sandlund.
Yeah. But
media presence is a little low at the moment.
How many
Wait.
followers you got on Instagram, Bryce?
30?
are you serious?
I don't Instagram, man.
How many I guess Snapchat doesn't really have followers.
Let's check.
What's your snap score? I guess that's an important thing.
Oh well, I
don't-
send a lot of Snapchats. Doesn't mean I'm.
Yeah, we
I've
should
got
also note that there's a
113,000.
fourth person here that does not have a microphone by the name of Audrey Stewart. So, yeah, she's here. We just didn't. I only bought. I forked out enough dough to buy 3 microphones, but not a fourth.
Guys, I have 229 Instagram followers. Thank you very much.
Wow. You're
Give
doing
it up
all
for
right,
Bryce. All right,
Claps.
we ready for the shotgun?
Claps. I'm probably gonna stand up because
Yeah.
I will puke.
I'm going to move
frankly.
the mic a little bit.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
Guys, I want everyone to know that the first shotgun Caleb ever did was with me. You remember that?
Was he of age?
What?
You remember that, Caleb?
All the shotguns kind of blur together, not going to lie. Besides this one. This
Fair
one
enough,
will
fair
stand
enough.
out.
All right.
All right.
Oh, I'm leaking. We gotta do it fast.
3, 2, 1. It's so cold.
I definitely beat everyone.
I failed. I failed big time.
Woo! That was a little
That's
beer
why I
spilled.
stopped. Oh my god.
Dude, that was
Man, Caleb,
oh
it was
my-
Caleb's idea to do the shotgun.
That was so cold. That sucked.
Yeah.
That was awful. Why? Once again, it's a Monday night. Not only is it a Monday night, but you made me shotgun, and it was cold. This is falling. I tightened it. Here we go. All right, we're good. We're good. Oh,
Yeah.
are you drinking liquor? What
was
is
pretty rough.
happening? It's Monday, guys. Get it together. We gotta rein this
Please
in.
man.
please give me the schnapps.
Yeah, I
What
think
are
we
we
have
doing?
to rein this in, guys.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not sure if that's how it works. Yeah, so that shotgun definitely sucked, mostly just because the
Did you finish
thing-
yours? You didn't do it.
No, I finished it. I did
Okay,
finish it.
okay.
That mostly sucked because of the thing that we drank was
Ice cold.
ice cold. And so, yeah, I was just in physical pain, and I definitely pussed out a little bit. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah,
I finished it, though. I did finish it.
You know, I was curious about the fact you said you wanted to do a shotgun because I do remember some of the shotguns we've done together, and
I'm terrible at shotgunning beers.
Dude, you did. I remember when you came down here on the Volvo road trip, you were fully against shotgunning, but now you're kind of you're a little shotgunner.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing it. It's a fun way to start a podcast or anything else. But, yeah, I'm not good at it, that's for sure.
I think I'm okay at it.
Yeah, you're better at it than me.
I personally think shotguns are like the most rowdy, like turn up thing you can do. Like it's more than a shot in my mind.
I
Shots
think
are
it depends
easier.
on what you're drinking, but yeah. I disagree. Shotgunning, especially twisted tea, at least when it's not ice cold, is super easy.
Really?
It's easier than a shot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'd rather shotgun than take a shot. But I've never shotgun. Like you drink like pretty heavy stuff. And
Well, I
don't.
wouldn't shotgun a craft beer. That would be
That'd be
rough.
Terrible.
I've shotgunned a tall boy before. That's really rough.
yeah.
But
I'm gonna have to mop my porch now, aren't I?
yeah,
Sorry
sorry
about
about that.
Well, I mean, no, I figured that was gonna be the case.
I didn't stomp on it, or at least I didn't spill anything.
I like
It's not true, I
got
spilled
down
a
to
little
the
bit.
last like 10th of the can, and then I chucked it on the ground and considered it done.
Hey,
Close
I went
enough.
all the way.
I usually do that.
Yeah, that's all right. Audrey also finished hers. Audrey also did shotgun something. All right, well, so Bryce, do you want to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself?
Well, sure, I could do that. I'm Bryce. I've been Caleb's brother for his whole life,
Yep.
and no, I just finished. I finished a PhD actually. I
we
feel
got
like
Dr. Sandlin over
Dr. Sandlin.
We
I
do have
go
a
by Dr.
Dr.
Bryce.
Sandlin,
Actually.
that is
Dr.
true.
Bryce. I
But,
could see that. Sounds like a good TV show.
Yeah, I finished my PhD in theoretical computer science.
Yeah.
What
and-
does theoretical computer science consist of?
Well, it's a lot of math.
That
It's
sounds terrible. Good for you.
yeah, it's not easy stuff by any means, but I was always really interested in it, and yeah, so I decided to do a PhD in it. But now I'm getting back in engineering, software engineer at GoPuff, and
Go Puff.
Go Puff.
Is it like an app?
It is an app. It's in like most major cities, college campuses.
It's like a DoorDash, right? Kind of thing for.
This easiest answer is that it's a convenience store that delivers.
Okay.
So if you imagine a Walgreens, but you actually have an app and they drive it right to you.
Wait,
it's
so does
pretty
that
awesome,
include
actually.
like, I'm getting way too invested in this, but are we talking like pharmaceuticals and stuff like that too?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
they even have prescription pharmacy, I'm pretty sure.
Interesting.
Yep.
Cool concept. Okay.
No,
I'm
it's
here
the
for
way
it.
of the future. They're not super big yet, but they're growing. They've doubled in valuation every year since inception.
Yeah, and I think of like DoorDash, like because this seems somewhat similar to DoorDash.
It is.
DoorDash is huge now.
It is, and
Yeah.
that's where the economy's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, delivery is the way of the future. Brick and mortar's kind of fizzling out.
Yep.
That's true.
Not for
Probably
everything. Not for
the-
everything.
Not, yeah, probably for the better for a lot of stuff though.
So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, Bryce has always been, and all my siblings really have always been very smart and very. You did what, 10 years of school?
You
almost?
too, Caleb. Yeah. No, we're a bright family. No, I look at a lot of stuff that that you've done with car stuff, and yeah, like we were also very creative. Like growing
Yeah.
up, all of us. Like
Yep.
I got a lot from my older brother, in terms of just like trying to build stuff and mod things, and I feel like I impacted you a little bit.
Yeah,
way.
that is. So nobody in my family was ever a car guy.
That's true.
But
not cars.
we were all very creative. We were all very smart. We all had the desire to make stuff and modify
Absolutely.
stuff.
Absolutely.
And that's essentially what I'm doing, just with cars.
Right. No,
Um,
you stuck with it longer. Like,
Yeah.
like for me, I made that game mod when I was in high school, and I worked on it a little bit in college as well. But the thing is, I went to college and I kind of committed to the more traditional path, whereas you kept going with your hobby essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Um,
creativity side.
But,
Yeah, I'm definitely more of a creative than a.
Not
But you
that,
don't
not
like-
that
you don't
like
like
engineering
school.
is
You don't
not
like-
creative.
You don't
I-
like
yeah, I
school the
hate
same way
school.
I do.
Yeah.
I really love school, and that's why I did, as
10
you described, 10 years of it.
I feel like that is the case with the majority of like PhD holders or however you want to.
Well, you're not going to do a PhD if you don't like school.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like the friends that I have with PhDs, it wasn't so much as they wanted the PhD as much as it was they just wanted to keep going to school. They just enjoyed. And then once
Yeah.
they had the PhD, a lot of them still went back and got different irrelevant degrees just because they enjoy school.
Yeah, I think my education is done.
Yeah.
I'm not not looking
Understandably.
at adding to that 10 years.
How was it being a PhD student?
Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's horrible. Don't do it. I mean, okay, there's some fields where like I think it's like something like psychology fields or like more like applied PhDs, where it can make sense.
Yeah, like
but-
more hands-on kind of stuff.
Yeah, the like really research heavy PhDs. I mean, if you're really passionate about it and you're really good at it, and you really if you want to do it, then fine. But for 90% of people, probably not the right path.
Yeah.
The reality is that so many people will get PhDs and they won't. They won't actually use them because there's just not a ton of jobs, and the jobs that are there are pretty rough. Like I had to go to Canada to do a PhD. And if I wanted to continue in academia, you had to be super flexible about where you want to live. And frankly, I'd make a lot less money.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's really not many pros about it besides you're
Well,
a doctor now.
well, some people really like doing that kind of work.
True,
Like,
true, yeah.
I still enjoy, the kind of research stuff that I've done. I've got a paper that I just published, actually, in one of the top algorithms conferences.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you. But yeah, no, it's really hard to make a career out of it. And yeah, I'm happy I'm going back in engineering, especially in the software field. This is a really good place to be.
So, the PhD that you have, do you think you could have gotten your current job without it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, the other person on my team has a Berkeley undergraduate, but that's a lot less education than what I have.
So, where was the value for you in the PhD? Just because you liked school, or?
Well, the reason I did it was because I liked learning. I knew there was so much more that I hadn't learned yet when it comes to computer science. The actual, figuring out kind of like how these things work, like how do computers work from a fundamental perspective.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
It's really awesome. Didn't have that knowledge, and that's what I wanted to do. So that's what I did. But it's just not necessarily super practical. Yes. The thing is, a lot of these things, it's like once you know the best way to sort, put numbers in order kind of thing, that's it.
That's
you
all
just
you
use that every time, and there's not like you need a whole field of people working on it. Like one person did it once, and then it's done. Whereas you look at software engineering, there's so many engineers because there's so much to build. Everything is software now.
Yeah, that is true. That is probably the highest in demand out of anything, and it's just going to get more and more.
Yeah, it's not changing.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you had gotten an undergraduate in computer science, and then went to work for Microsoft.
For Microsoft, that's cool.
Yeah, for what, a year or two? Was it?
Yeah, I got a math and computer science undergraduate, and then I worked at Microsoft for a year and a summer.
Yeah, and you helped develop the Xbox One, right?
That is
What?
correct.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
That's wild.
I was on the Xbox One launch team. Man, funny story about that, actually. Might as well tell the story as well.
Dive in.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so I already talked about my PhD. It seems like all right, I won't talk the whole podcast, but
You're
anyway.
the guest, so
Well,
Yeah,
thank you.
we're here for you,
So
man.
I did my PhD in Canada, but like Caleb, I'm from St. Charles and
Illinois. Chicago suburbs.
I'm an American, so that was another experience that we can talk about as well, being in a different country than the United States. But what I wanted to say is that, Xbox One, I had this awesome employee edition Xbox One.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like such a cool thing. It had like a little plaque on it that said, I made this. Like when they first got released, they were being auctioned for like, several $1,000s.
What? That's crazy. Do you know how many were made?
I don't, but I think around in the hundreds.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was really excited about it, but I'll admit the Xbox One, the first Xbox One console was
Not great.
not a great
They
machine.
upgraded it over
was actually
time.
very interesting to see, being at Microsoft at the time, to see like what made it be that way.
Right.
And we had some like pretty rough like company meetings where it's like, well, we went to E3 and it didn't go so well.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I never heard any of this.
Oh yeah.
Wait a minute. Explain.
Well,
Do you know what E3 is?
I know what E3.
Okay.
No,
it's
I
like
don't.
the big.
Oh,
it's
E3.
like SEMA,
it's like
for
SEMA
games.
for video
Yes,
games. Yes,
exactly.
I do know what E3 is. Okay, I'm following.
yeah. No,
For some reason, I was thinking. I was thinking about EA, and I was like, why would
No.
you? Why does EA have any influence? But okay, continue.
yeah. No, I didn't go to E3, but one of the executives did, and like the original plans for the Xbox One were like even worse than what it actually ended up being. But they were going to have it like geo-locked, where you could only use it in the region you're from.
Oh no.
And like it had to be connected to the internet 100% of the time. Otherwise, you just couldn't do anything, and there would be no hard copy games.
I
Everything
do
would
remember
be-
that.
I remember there
that.
being like a big thing about not being able to share used games, like with your friend.
Yep.
Like you'd have to pay
Yep.
to use a borrowed game, and everybody was livid about that.
Oh, it was just like a lot of like very corporate decisions, like
Corporately
basically
bad
yeah,
decisions.
got rid of everyone's
Very
like
bad.
freedom, and they recognize it like oh yeah, like we like talked about these policies, we would like basically like boot off the stage kind of thing.
Do you guys remember PlayStation's like little spoof commercial that they did about that like whole borrowed game conundrum?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, I remember like it may not have been like a TV commercial, but I do remember seeing it on like a Facebook ad or something like that.
So they essentially were making fun of Xbox.
Yeah,
for-
they were basically like, this is how easy it is to share a PlayStation game, and one dude walked up and handed the game to another dude.
Well, if we're gonna keep going.
No, that was basically it.
If you're going to talk about ease of use when it comes to like PlayStation, do you guys remember the old school days when you had to get a multi-tab or whatever?
Yeah.
If you, like
The memory card?
No. Sorry, the like a PS1 or PS2 like only had 2 controller slots.
Yeah.
You don't remember that?
I don't. I mean,
I know what you're
played
talking about.
PlayStation.
It was like
2
the
maybe
biggest
twice.
barrier. Like most PlayStation games were just 1 or 2 player. Like they didn't, because it wasn't made.
I do remember that.
Yeah. Anyway, but what was I saying?
There's definitely an animal walking around out there.
Yeah,
It's
there
probably
is.
a deer. So I have 3 pet deer. Their names are Avril, Lindsay, and oh no, what's the last one's name?
Oh no,
Brittany.
Brittany.
Avril, Lindsay, and Brittany, the teenage heartthrobs from my childhood.
Wow, it's loud.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy, isn't it?
That is awesome, actually.
It's then that's
Yeah,
why we
that's
do it on a
them.
porch.
I throw deer corn out there. So
Getting my beer coat on now too, so
Yeah,
I feel less
exactly.
less cold.
The shotgun's kicking in.
oh yeah, I
well,
can
we also
definitely feel it.
yeah, we also did a little shot
That was
after.
fast. I haven't had a lot of water today.
Anyway, I feel like I never concluded my story.
Yeah,
but-
sorry,
Oh
we definitely
shit! No, I actually
interrupted.
really didn't conclude the story. Sorry. The story's almost done.
E3.
Well,
Yelled
okay.
at.
Actually, that was kind of done.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, like no, we did
Wait,
realize it was bad.
I need more context. How were you involved with the Xbox One?
I was a software engineer at Microsoft on the Xbox team.
Yeah, so
He was designing like Xbox Live. And
Yeah,
that
I
kind of
was
stuff.
on Xbox Live. We
Okay.
were working. Actually, we were in an internal facing team. It was
so like the main board meetings they were having for the entirety of the Xbox One you were present for.
Well, I wasn't in any of the executive meetings, but anything that was like
The software
Xbox
involved,
Live,
the
yeah.
actual assembling of the system. Okay.
It's pretty cool.
I'm
Well,
just,
software
I'm
and
just trying to
hardware.
get
I
in
was on
your
the software
I'm trying to
side,
get in
but-
your shoes.
Yeah. No, it was a great time to be there because we had like dinners every night. Like I would go to these dinners because I was too lazy to cook, but the people who were actually there were people who were working late because they were trying to ship features and stuff.
Right.
So I'd be like sitting down and I'd be like, "Oh, hi, I'm Bryce. So, like I'm a new grad. Like I just got this job." And this other person would be like, "Oh yeah, I'm the VP of this," or like, you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, these are like
oh,
these head
boy.
guys.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
but that was pretty cool. Anyway, the Xbox One wasn't super great. So when I had my Xbox One Employee Edition,
Right.
I used it-
Employee edition baller.
well, yeah, that's what I was saying. With the I was saying it. I had it. It was like white. Had a little plaque that said I made this. They were going for like 3,000 to 5,000, something like that.
Crazy.
And then I was using it, and then I'm like, Xbox One actually kind of sucks. Like it's not really that good. I wasn't really playing the games. I played. I want to say Forza, but I can't. Is that the right game? Played one of those racing games a lot.
And that's an
Probably
Xbox
Forza.
racing game. Is Forza.
Anyway, but and it was like as a Netflix box, it like underperformed compared to like some of the other options I had. So eventually, I put this thing in a box, and I just wasn't using it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Then I moved to Canada, and I had a couple roommate experiences. Okay, I quit Microsoft to go to grad school. Wanted to learn more. Anyway, I ended up somewhere in Canada, and I had this Xbox One that was actually pretty valuable. But I was living in like essentially a college situation with people that were poor and whatnot. Anyway, pandemic comes back around. Or
Yep.
doesn't come back around.
Comes
Pandemic
Comes around for
the
the
first
first time.
comes around for the first time. And I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm going to play some Xbox One. Like, might as well. Like, we're cooped up here.
I haven't heard this story either.
Oh, well, it's a good story. I
Oh,
get
no.
to my box, open it up, and find no Xbox One Employee Edition.
My gosh.
It gets stolen from me.
By one of your roommates.
It had to be either a roommate or like a roommate friend,
Oh my god.
which is like pretty brutal.
That's pretty bad.
Oh, it's terrible.
You have no
how
idea
did
who
you
it was?
approach the situation?
Well, I didn't. There was there was one person who I thought might have had it, and I actually did ask him, but I tried to like not be a dick about it. I just actually wanted to know,
Yeah.
but he didn't tell me anything. So
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was fine.
obviously not. So you just kind of
So
let it
you
go.
still.
Not
Wow.
much I can do about it.
That
I
sucks.
did email my old boss at Microsoft. He didn't respond to my email.
But hey, can I get another one?
I was like, "Whoa, hey, like you got the like there's newer stuff coming out, and like I don't know, they probably had extra stuff lying around. But the thing is, once you're not an employee at a company anymore,
They don't care.
they don't really care. They
Yeah.
don't really care. So
That's
Well, that
insane.
sucks.
That's a great story.
I mean, it's a sucky story, but
I've had
good.
I've had things stolen from me 3 times, and every time it was in Canada, and each time was
Canada's not as nice as you
I was
think.
gonna say, you trying to
it's-
say something?
Well, I mean, it depends where you are locally, right? But no, the other 2 times, like I had a winter parka, which you really need when you're living in Canada, and we went to this bar, and it happened to be the night of the Grey Cup. What is the Grey Cup?
some sort of sporting
It's the CFL's Super Bowl,
What does a see it? What
Hockey?
What?
Canadian Football League.
Oh, I didn't even know
They
that
play
was a
football
thing.
in Canada, but it's
like
kind of a
American
joke.
football or like soccer?
American football.
Okay.
American football, but it's more like a semi-professional league. A lot of people have jobs outside of
I see.
playing in the
Right.
CFL. Anyway, but like we went to this bar. It happened to be CFL. It happened to be the Grey Cup, and we were sitting on like benches, and we just had a big pile of coats because it's Canada. You need a coat, and you can't really hang up a coat when you're sitting on a bench.
Yeah, and you don't want to be wearing it.
You're not going to wear it inside the bar.
Yeah.
Anyway, end of the night comes around. I look for my coat. It's just not in the pile. And it just wasn't. I left the bar without the coat. And I later went back and looked at the security camera footage and saw someone walking out of that bar with my parka. And whether it was an accident or not, they never brought
Right.
it back. So that's a stolen parka.
Yeah, I think that kind of goes to show it
I'm
wasn't. an
surprised they let
accident.
you look at the security footage.
I know. I was like, hey, I think I lost a parka here. Like, their immediate response was, oh, we're not responsible for lost or stolen items. I'm like, well, can I look at the security camera footage or something? And she's like, yeah, okay, you can probably do that.
Yeah, it's pretty
But,
cool.
no, that's cool. But
Sucks. that you
regardless,
lost.
this was like December or like November,
Oof.
and I was so heartbroken. I loved that parka so much
I remember that.
that
one,
I didn't replace it. I just couldn't do it. So I went the whole Canadian winter without a proper winter coat, which sucked.
What's the retail on those?
That one was a cheaper parka, which was like $200.
Okay, it's not terrible.
But
Still heartbreaking to lose. You could
Yeah.
you could attack. It's weird how we can get attached to like apparel, right? Like, do you ever have like your favorite? Dude, you've been wearing
100%.
like the same pair of jeans for like 3 years.
Well, that was not out of attachment. That was out of laziness and
no, at the time that I owned this parka, it was my most valuable possession. Like, I fucking loved that parka. It was like perfect fit. It was so warm. and
That's
it was
hard to
just
get in a
so-
coat,
It was
too.
so needed.
Yeah.
Like, you really needed it. And then to have it just like stolen from me like that, it really, I just felt so violated. Like, I felt as violated as I did when I realized my Xbox One had been stolen by someone that was like living with me.
you.
Dude, I would. I don't know what I would do. That would destroy me because I would just feel uncomfortable in my own skin. These are people that you live with.
Well, at that time, I had actually already moved to a place by myself, so that was
Okay.
good.
Yeah, that'd be bad
So
if you were
fa-
still.
that.
living
Yeah,
with
that would
them.
be bad if you were still with them.
Yeah. I actually don't know who. I moved 2 different places, and the Xbox One was just in a cardboard box. And
You didn't notice that the cardboard box was significantly
Yeah,
I think I
lighter?
did. I did notice it. I think I did notice it. Honestly, it was like subconscious, but I noticed it when I was moving out to my
Yeah.
own the final move to my
Uh-huh.
new place. I'm like, I did not see my white Employee Edition Xbox One controller, and yeah, the box did feel a little lighter. But I didn't. It was like subconscious. I didn't.
Yeah, and when you're
at the-
moving, you're
at the same
trying
time,
to-
I actually also lost a watch in that move. So I don't know. It could have just been nabbed at that point, but I'll
That's
never know.
crazy.
You'll never know.
Were you like
That's rough.
friends with those roommates, or were they just like roommates?
Man, I have one really good friend in Canada. I lived with for more than 2 years. 2 years and like a month or 2 right before I left. But he was awesome. But he owned a bar, and
he owns a bar.
yeah, he does.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, no, we would go to the McMullen's pub all the time, and it was really fun because he owned the bar, which
Right.
meant we could like kind of like it used to be. I used to go there, and he would let me stay when they closed,
Uh huh.
and he'd kick everyone else out, He even had a policy. It was even so bad. This is kind of bad. He was like, yeah, like significant others like can't stay at the bar when we're closing. And I'm like, like I'm staying at the bar when you're closing, but that the rule like didn't apply to me. And I was like, okay, we should probably like not do that. Yeah. But yeah, it was awesome. Anyway, but he was so generous. Canadians can be so generous.
That's what they say about Canada.
Oh, it's like obnoxious almost. Like you'll like go out for drinks and like it's like hard to pay for your own drink.
That sounds great.
Anyway, but he was super generous when it came to like living with people in the sense of like, yeah, like you can come live with me, like, yeah, like, but
Right.
then like they're terrible roommates.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to live with people like that. You want to be really choosy about who you live with.
Mhm.
Yep.
So
That's why I don't.
So
live
you were
with
living
anyone.
with him with other people that he
Correct.
had just
Correct.
invited. I see.
Correct.
Okay. Makes sense. Well, so I mean that's
need
the
another
story
beer.
of Bryce.
Well, yeah, that
was
fun.
we got a lot of good stories in there.
Yeah, I wanna tell my Petit Le Mans story.
Okay.
Tell it. Let's hear it.
Okay, so this past week I went to Petit Le Mans with some friends. Petit Le Mans.
What is this place?
Okay, so Petit Le Mans. There is a racetrack here. It's pretty legendary It's pretty legendary. Bryce is getting another beer.
Oh, by the way, Bryce, if you have to pee, you have to pee off the porch.
Yeah, you can't be inside.
Well, I've heard.
Kind of a rule.
So, anyways,
No, Audrey, you can use the restroom.
dang it, I'm getting distracted. Okay. So, Petit Le Mans, there is a racetrack local to here that's pretty legendary in the car world called Road Atlanta. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, Bryce. Bryce is not much of a car guy.
Well,
Um,
yeah, not really. Sorry.
if you
Bryce
played,
is-
if you
he's a
played
car guy
Forza,
whatsoever.
if you
Sorry to
played,
disappoint.
if you actually played Forza, there is a 99% chance that you have digitally driven this racetrack.
He probably played Forza Horizon.
Anyways,
Actually, maybe not.
It
I don't
was
know.
one of the ones that came out with the initial Xbox One release.
I think that was Forza 7.
Wasn't it open world or was it like racetracks that you raced around on?
What do you mean open world?
Like,
like,
were
you could
you
drive
like driving
wherever
on
you
city
want.
streets, or were you only driving on racetracks?
I was not driving on city streets.
Okay,
so,
so
you're
it's
right.
probably
It was
Forza 7.
Motorsports, yeah. All right, so
Um,
maybe you did drive on Road Atlanta.
Anyways, but there is a racing series called IMSA. I'm not sure what it stands for, but it's a pretty big deal. There's a lot of like what's called like LMP cars, which are dedicated race cars. Then there's like smaller classes or leagues that like race Porsches, and then there's like a class that race Lamborghinis and so on and so forth, right?
And this
Ferraris,
isn't
stuff
like
that.
NASCAR where it's one corner.
No,
like
this is
they're going around these
This
lefts
is
and
legit.
rights and ups and downs. Like it's intense.
Yeah, a lot of these people fly in from like Britain, Australia, stuff like that. These are like real. This is like a couple of steps under F1. It's a big deal.
Awesome.
So a lot of people. It's a big deal. The fans will camp. So Road Atlanta in the infield. The infield is very large. Road Atlanta is a pretty large track. There's actually like a lake in it and like a bunch of woods. So people will go set up these super baller campsites, and it's a good time. Like we were there from Wednesday to Saturday.
Oh, that's where you were.
Yeah, that's where I was.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's a good time. A buddy of mine, shout out JT, who will probably be on the podcast at some point. He just built he's in the process of building this really cool kind of adventure van out of this like some sort of big Dodge utility van. But he built a little camper out of it. Sleeps a lot of people, surprisingly. But we took it. I stayed in that with him. A couple of other buddies came out, pitched tents, whatever. One dude slept in his truck, but it was a fun time. But, dude, I don't know if it's just like a post-COVID or whatever you want to call it or whatever it was that happened. It's the most people that I have ever seen at Road Atlanta at one time.
Really?
It was
Even more than like Formula Drift or anything like that?
swamped.
Oh.
From like corner to corner. There was people, tents, Enos, everywhere.
Wow.
So like we were in, I want to say it's like turn 11, 13 or 14. I can't remember. It's right. We were camping right at the bottom of the S's where you make the left turn and go up the hill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you familiar?
Yes.
You know what we're talking. So
Kind
we're,
of, yeah.
we're like right there in that corner, right?
Okay.
And there's a ton of people camping, dude. And so
Do they have any like regulations on it, or like how does it work with
So-
camping?
I'm kind of getting there, but
Okay, sure.
yes and no. For the most part, it's just a free for all. Like you find a spot,
Yeah.
you pitch it, right?
Do you have to pay for the spots?
They're not.
Oh yeah, it's
designated
pretty. I mean, the
spots,
pass.
are they?
I'm pretty sure I paid like $100 for a pass, and then like if you want to get in and camp, just have infield vehicle pass is like another $70. So you're probably like 170 in.
But you
to
don't
be
even
able to
pay
camp.
for the spot.
No,
That's
there is
weird.
no spots. It's a free for all.
Oh, that sounds
First,
sounds
That could be kind of fun, actually.
could be
it-
fun or could it be crowded?
It depends how many passes they sell.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unlike anything I've ever experienced. Even different than grid life. It's
I can imagine.
it's something
yeah.
because like the people who are coming here aren't like the grid life guys. Grid
No.
life is basically like
It's a music festival
mixed
combined
with
a car event,
motorsports.
so it's pretty fun. They do racing, and then at night they've got a big music
The music
rave.
festival, but
That
for
sounds awesome.
for
Everyone gets fucked up.
Oh,
and-
that sounds like a fucking grand old
yeah,
time.
it's a great time,
Yeah,
and they
great
do
time.
one in Colorado now. That's freaking awesome, and we're going next year. You're totally invited. Anyways,
You gotta be careful with me with invites.
Yeah,
give me an
he-
invite, and
he takes it seriously.
I snap on that.
so this was another level because this is a very high class event, right?
yeah,
Um,
wealthy people probably.
Very wealthy people. I mean, there is
The drivers, at
full
least.
on RVs, like giant Prevost, like $1 million motor coaches
Yeah.
that are just tucked off in the woods with a bunch of like older white dudes just getting smashed. It's like the culture that was there was just so odd. And like the dudes next to us that like pitched up next to us, they strung bungee cords and a TV from a tree.
What?
Stole power from the women's like outhouse bathroom and were playing Forza.
Oh, I saw that on your. That's
drifting on
so
they were drifting
sick.
on Road Atlanta, sitting in front of Road Atlanta. Like
That's
it,
pretty awesome.
It was really funny. But anyways, I say that. So where we pitched, right beside us was the bathhouse, right? So Road Atlanta does have like bathhouses spread out for events like that. And we kind of, we snuck in, stole the power. We were powering heaters,
plugged
whatever.
into an outlet and stuff.
Yeah. Put there's like a little box. We put like a padlock on it so nobody could unplug us. It was really funny. Anyways,
That's fun. Smart.
so it's the night before the race. The actual race is on Saturday. They have like 3 days of practice and qualifying.
So this is Friday night.
Yeah, this is Friday night.
Okay. Same night we were camping, Bryce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same night. Y'all were out there. It's like 11 o'clock. Most of the guys. I didn't do. So the week before that was SEMA. SEMA was a little bit rough for me. Influence wise,
We did a lot.
we did
Drank
a
a
lot.
lot.
We drank a lot. So I took it very.
Speaking of which, I think one of us doesn't have a beer right now.
Hunter probably. Do you want a beer, Hunter? You don't have to have a
Just
beer.
get a twisted tea. Come on, man. Well, you don't have to.
Yeah,
That's true.
Bryce.
You don't have to.
I don't think you're in a position to peer pressure the host of Two Peas in a Porch.
Oh, I'm not peer pressuring anyone. Everyone is free to
Maybe,
make-
maybe I'm not opposed to it. I'm definitely not gonna go get it myself. So somebody's gonna go get it.
I
But
think that's our producer, Audrey Stewart.
the producer Stewart. Okay, fine. Give me one. I will hold it in my hand. No promises that I will drink it.
you can just sip it. You don't have to.
Anyways,
We're not asking you to shotgun it this time.
so it's.
Friday night.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so I took
Sorry.
it the week before that was SEMA. I did a lot of influential things. So I was playing it pretty sober and cool. For the races, but most of the other guys I were with, a lot of the guys that we were with were, this is like me and I would say Caleb are very blessed in the fact that we are kind of used to the whole motorsport thing, right? Like we get to do it pretty frequently. So a race like that, although it is very cool, it's not like
Super special.
mind blowing, right? We do
Yeah.
it fairly frequently, but for a lot of the guys there, it's like their one hurrah a year,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? It's like they've been waiting all year for this moment to come. So they ended up getting, a lot of them were pretty hammered, having a great time. We had fires going. Everybody was walking around from tent to tent, just
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Just
Yeah, I was
ha-
gonna say, I would have been hammered if I was.
just
Yeah,
having
yeah.
a good
Bryce would've been
time. I
hammered
was
for
minding
sure.
my business. I said a twisted tea. She came out here with the whole
That is
24
true.
pack.
Hey, at least this one's cold.
Double T, baby. All right. So
I guess the other one was cold too. To be fair.
Yeah, that one didn't have much time to warm up. I'm good right now.
Well, Caleb was like, "Oh, we want a few to be a little warmer. Put them in the cooler."
There was no ice in the cooler. This was an empty cooler.
It doesn't matter. It's
There's
still
other
it's
cold drinks. In
I
there.
it's like
know.
you pull.
It insulates it.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
know.
okay. Anyways,
Well, it was better than the fridge. Okay.
so
Give me a
it,
break.
it gets to like 11 o'clock, and then all of a sudden this lady walks up. You know, we've had like a couple guys or girls, whoever, like walk up and chat with us. So it wasn't necessarily out of the ordinary. But this one girl comes up kind of aggressively, and then she goes, "Is this any of your cars up here? Like, is this any of your car? Is the whatever? Is this Volvo?" There was a turbo Volvo 240 wagon there.
That's cool.
But there was just like a random vehicles kind of like parked beside the bathhouse, right?
Mhm.
So you turned in to where we were camping. There was the bathhouse, and there was just a little dirt road that like looped around it and then went back out.
Right.
And it was the fire marshal lady. And
Uh-oh.
we were like, no, we don't think any of those are ours. Like, we're kind of looking around our group. Everybody's like, no, I don't think so. And then she was like, well, I have to be able to get a fire truck through here, and all these cars are blocking. Remember, I said there's a lot of people there. So there was vehicles everywhere. There was vehicles boxed in. There was, there's ATVs,
sounds like a
golf carts,
nightmare.
dirt bikes. You could bring whatever you wanted in there. There was a dude riding around in a motorized bathtub. Like, you could bring whatever.
What the?
That's
Yeah.
definitely a car guy. Like some people build some random crap just to drive around the pits.
Yeah, so like all of these random motorized vehicles that you can't just move by hand are in the way. And like she was very frustrated. Remember, it's 11 o'clock. These guys are gone. They're blasted.
They should not be getting behind the wheel of a motorized vehicle.
Well, not only that, but you can't come up to a bunch of drunk dudes aggressively.
Yeah.
So obviously, some of them started getting kind of like, what? You coming up here at 11 o'clock? You're coming up. These have been parked like this for 3 days. You're gonna say something right now? And
the night before the race.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
I'm
a
sitting
good
here.
Point,
I'm
but-
like, okay, how to diffuse? And then so she was like, none of them are yours. Okay, so she walks up back to where the cars are, which is probably 100 feet from where we were.
Mm-hmm.
And so a couple of the guys follow her up just to see if one of the cars she's talking about might be theirs. So I go back to like minding my own business, and then I notice like these guys haven't come back for a minute, right? So I walk back up there. One of the guys that we were with, I think his name. Well, I'm not gonna say his name.
Probably a good idea.
Let's call him Blake.
Blake.
So Blake's standing there, and I hear the fire marshal lady goes, "Is this yours?" And he's like, "No." And she goes, "Is this yours?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's my truck." And then she goes, "Okay, well, you got to move. This has got to get out of here." And then he looks at her and he goes, "No."
Oh no.
Deadass. He goes, "No." And she goes, "What? Like, you got to move it." And he goes, "No, I'm not moving it." And she goes, "Well, I'm going to tow it." And he goes, "It's a rental." That's all he said. He's like, "Do whatever you want with it." He's like, "I pick my truck up tomorrow. I'll just tell him I'll just tell him to pick it up at the tow yard." Like, what are you gonna do?
Well, they'll charge him for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. That's why I was like,
Not a great response, but
Yeah, it might be like, I'm a little drunk. I'm gonna stand my ground, kind of
yeah,
thing.
I had a rental car in Edmonton and like went through apparently some speed camera and
Yeah, they probably like double charge you.
well, like no, it's like you can like refute it or something if
Mhm.
it's actually your car, but if it's a rental car, you're just fucked.
yeah.
that reminds
Anyway,
me
keep
of
going.
that reminds me of another story coming back from Colorado. But anyways, yeah. So he just like straight up, I'm standing there. He goes, "No, I'm not moving it." And then she goes, "Okay, all right, I'll be back."
Oh,
I'll be back.
man. It sounds like something that would just stress me out a little bit, and I wouldn't have a great time if that was happening around me.
Hold on, excuse me, my mic keeps falling.
You can tighten it. Yeah, there's a screw thing.
Okay, I think we're all right now.
Yeah, you're good.
But yeah, so we like go back and everybody's like, Blake, what are you doing, dude?
Just move your truck.
And he's like, who comes in? My truck has been right there for 3 days. He was like, you did why all of a sudden? And like, to be fair, his reasoning was like, listen, if she would have come up and been like, hey, like, I'm sorry it's late, but like you know,
Please move your
I'm just trying to do my job,
Right.
and I just really need to be able, you know, in case anything happens. If she would have came up like that, that would have been one thing. But she came up like, whose cars are these? They got to get the out of here, you know,
Yeah.
like.
I know that feeling of like kind of being irritated by someone doing that.
Yeah, and so like, yeah,
That's tough.
Stakes were high. Sure enough, she comes back. This time she's got like 3 big security guard dudes.
Shit.
Yeah,
He
and
hasn't moved it yet.
no, he has not moved it. He is standing his ground. But
Southerners, man.
But it's not just him. Like, there's a lot of other people that were either pretending like the cars weren't there, just trying to, you know, ignore it till it goes away or whatever.
Right.
Like COVID.
But
What are you talking about? What is COVID? That doesn't exist down here.
These guys.
Oh, that's right.
These guys. The security guard guys. I'm pretty sure like a tow truck showed up too. Like kind of like a just like
Just like
threatening.
flex. Right. Yeah.
Just like to like flex on them, and then
Wow.
it did end up towing a minivan.
They did really. They
yeah,
towed something.
it towed a minivan, which I feel bad. I'm pretty sure it was just like a guy with his kid, who didn't know of the whole tow situation.
Yeah, it seems like they probably should have just like roped off that spot, you know.
That's what we were like. You know, it'd be one thing if there was like signs or something that said, "Hey,
Yeah.
avoid this" or whatever. Then if they came in heated, okay, we asked for it. But there was nothing.
Right. Yeah, if
telling
there's no
us.
sign that says you can't park there, then you can park there.
Yeah,
Although,
Yeah, especially when you're having an open camping
Right.
event with thousands of people there.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got to expect people to park wherever they can find parking.
there was a street. There was a street in Waterloo. Actually, all the streets of Waterloo. Apparently, there's some. This is where I did my PhD. But apparently, there's some like regulation that you can't park like overnight. Like
Mhm.
at least on some streets, and it just isn't posted anywhere.
Oh, you're supposed to know it.
I don't know, but I was getting tickets for it. But the nice thing is that if you
It's
haven't
registered in the United States.
you haven't it's even if out of province plate, Ontario cannot look up your registration.
Really?
So I kind of use the parking tickets as either kindling for my fires or dog food. So I had like 20 of those or so, but didn't really matter. Apparently people have racked up hundreds of thousands of dollars of tickets
Oh my
because
gosh.
this is just a big loophole that
They can't do anything about.
competence goes both ways.
So what happened to Blake? Did Blake end up moving the truck?
Blake ended up getting in the truck, turning it on, and going, "Fine, I'll move it." And he pulled it like 3 inches forward.
And that was enough?
No, but he didn't care. He just got out. He was like, "I moved it. What are you gonna do?"
And so, but they didn't tow it.
But anyway, at this point, these people are serious. Right? They've come and they've flexed and they've shown that, you know, that they mean business.
Right.
So people are starting to get kind of antsy, kind of scared. These cars are packed in here really tight. So now at like 11:30 to midnight, whatever time it was, you just have 10 to 15 very drunk people trying to
move
figure
cars.
out how to
Oh
play
my
Tetris
gosh.
with motorized vehicles.
Sounds like a nightmare.
It was the biggest disaster I've ever seen in my life. And then like one of our friends, we'll call this guy Frank.
Come by at 11.
We'll call this guy Frank. Frank is probably the nicest, like, non-confrontational human being I've ever met in my life. And he comes up, he's looking out for Blake, right?
Right.
He's trying to keep, because Blake's ready to go to jail.
Right.
Blake will go to jail over this.
Yeah. He's standing.
He's
really
standing his
God.
ground. He will very clearly go to jail over this, and Frank is trying to avoid that from happening. So Frank comes up and he's trying to talk to them, and he's like, "Hey, like, can you show me, like, just point out like an invisible line or something? Where do you need these cars to be so that they are not in your way? That way, you know, like, if you would just tell me where they are." The problem was Frank was being so nice, he sounded like he was being sarcastic. So it made the marshals even more mad. They're like,
What?
"You don't have to be an asshole. Like, you better stop being an asshole. We're going to take you to jail." And then
Poor Frank.
Frank is just like pleading to them. He's like, no, I'm just trying to figure this out. Look, listen, we'll take you right now. We'll take you to jail right now. And he's like, I'm just trying to move the cars.
Oh my gosh.
Like, yeah, it
Jesus.
was bad. That's pretty much the moral of the story. But
Every story I hear about Road Atlanta sounds pretty not great.
Road Atlanta's a crazy place, man. Road Atlanta is a crazy place. I'm almost
sounds
gotten
like the
arrested
place
at Road
itself is
Atlanta, and I'm a
awesome.
pretty passive guy.
Yeah. It sounds like the place is awesome. It sounds like the management could use a little work.
Well, to be fair, that was fire marshals, not necessarily Road Atlanta staff, but
But it's
True.
hard to arrange any kind of like event, right?
You should-
They don't have the time to iterate over
Road
it.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Road Atlanta is another
The
level.
iterations
should
come
I
on a
tell
yearly
my grid
rather
life
than
story?
weekly.
That's
from
what I
Road
was going to
Atlanta?
suggest is tell the grid life story.
All right, so we'll transition into this. A lot of you guys listening, if you were at the
2019?
2019
Probably.
Grid
yeah.
Life South, this tells you how bad this story is. They no longer host Grid Life South at
Oh,
Road Atlanta
wow.
because of this.
This amazing party event used to take place 30 minutes away from here. And now it never is coming back here.
Sounds like Visha at Iowa State.
I don't know what that is, but if
Sure.
it was a big
Long
party that
story.
got shut down, then
That's exactly what it is.
yep, sounds about right.
So, Grid Life, like we said, big, it's to the point that just as many people come for the music festival alone that aren't car guys that come to, for the motorsports. So, like, you'll run
This is
into,
the one you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll run into like a lot of run-on situations where like somebody will come up just being out of curiosity, like, "Oh, what is it you do?" "Oh, I'm a drifter." What are you trying to tell me to do? Pick it up?
I was trying to tell you to pick the mic up. a
Yeah,
little
I
bit.
feel like Caleb and I like speaking directly into the microphone. Hunter over there, he's like slouched.
Hey,
The
that's
microphone's
why
kinda all over
the audio
place.
was a little rough last episode because we didn't have stands, and some of us were a little inconsistent at mic placement. Not naming any names.
Hunter.
I just want to say I have not moved from this position.
Dude,
Then get
The
the,
mic-
stand
you
so it
moved
doesn't
the
slouch.
microphone.
I do. Well, it's just fun to touch it, like swivels. That's awesome.
Yes.
Anyways,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I don't.
so like you'll run into situations where dudes will be like, "Oh, like what is this? What do you do?" Like, "Oh, I'm a drifter. Like I drift." "What does that mean?" "Well, how about you get in the car with me?" And like they'll take out some take out some wook or something and introduce them to the world of motorsports. But so it's a very awesome situation. And then at night, majority of the people camp at the track, same as Petit Le Mans. But this is like a younger group of people
Younger
who
group.
don't have a lot of money who like to throw down.
Yeah,
So
everyone's getting fucked up.
they will hire professional drivers, more famous influencer-esque race car drivers to come drive these events. I won't name any names because you won't be familiar with them. But big deal people who have lots of followers and lots of influence, and people are really excited to see these guys, right? So at the end of the night, when the music festival's over, that's really when the party starts, because all of these guys, all these big name guys that are paid to get out here, that have all these sponsors and all this influence, they do what's called the party bullies. So basically, the party bullies is once the festival's over at like midnight or whatever it is, they'll go back to one of the bigger booths or one of the bigger trailers. They'll all load up on golf carts with all of their crews and everything, and they'll just go out into what's called Tent City, where all of the spectators stay. And they'll just crack. What they do is they show up to a tent, whoever's having a random tent party, challenge you to a game of flip cup. And if they beat you, they flip your table, and then they just go to the next party. So by the
Is
end
this
of the
supposed to be fun? Really? No,
so-
sorry. Keep going.
It's rowdy.
It's definitely rowdy. Getting tables flipped is rowdy.
yeah, so by the end of the night, once that tent or party has got their tables flipped, well, they're not going to continue their boring party. They're going to join the party bullies, right?
Ooh.
So by
Like
the
a little
end of the
mob
night,
running around.
yeah. So by the end of the night, you just have this massive mob just running around the track,
It's like destroying things.
absolutely trashed, just having a good time. Like on golf, you'll have like 15 people on a golf cart somehow. It's ridiculous. And they're making golf carts walk woolies or walk. There'll be a golf cart in a ditch upside down or something. It's wild. Road Atlanta recently got bought by NASCAR. So NASCAR is trying to tighten things up a little bit. Not only that,
Family friendly.
not only that, but Michelin has also become Road Atlanta's title sponsor. So it's no longer Road Atlanta. It's Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta. That's what it says on all the things. So they are trying to be more like F1-esque, friendly, high dollar, kind of hoity-toity. You're following
I
me.
see.
Yeah, there's like two, maybe not just two, but there's two main groups, like the younger crowd who are more into like cheaper, like more grassroots kind of stuff, and then there's like the older crowd, like the old car enthusiasts that have their $100,000 cars that are spending thousands of dollars to go to a single track day kind of thing.
Makes sense.
Road Atlanta's trying to tender to those people. I
Yeah,
think.
they're trying to tender to those people. So obviously, the Grid Life crew no longer fits the vibe they're rolling for. Oh, are you going?
Is
for
Bryce
the
going
first
for
one?
P number one?
Oh
Boys,
my
it's
goodness!
time for P number one.
Oh.
I was actually about to go for P number one too.
Oh,
But Bryce, you can
wow.
have the honors
We've
of
got to do. Oh, I
breaking
guess
P
I need to
number
get out of the
one.
way. Pause.
Okay, so the only thing about having mic stands is that it's a little bit of a maze to get out of the porch to go take a pee. But hopefully you guys are enjoying. We tried to work on the audio quality a little bit more for this episode.
How long have we been going? That's the
That's the
spot.
spot.
You just pee off the stairs, man.
Yep.
We should.
Well, you how long have we been going for?
Yeah. How long are we going for?
Guess.
I don't know. Hour.
56 minutes.
56 minutes. Okay. I'm
Yeah,
right
so
there.
almost an hour. But yeah, so we actually bought the exact same recording equipment that Zach uses
Plus mic stands.
plus mic stands because I think the equipment is really, 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 really good and the quality can be really, really good. But, it's pretty sensitive to distance and stuff like that. So when we were hand-holding the mics, sometimes you say something, the mic's not quite close enough, that kind of stuff. So
I'm interesting to see how this changes things.
yeah, I think Bryce and I have done a pretty good job at not moving the mic.
Listen here, bucko. Listen.
Hey, it's fine. I mean, it is what it is. It's
Well,
no big
the
deal.
reason that I'm getting closer to it. The reason that I keep moving it is because I'm noticing that, like, I feel like I'm breathing into it. Like, I notice that my nose is pointed at it, so I'm like, oh no, they can probably hear me breathing.
I
And
think
then
that's less important than having it being at a consistent distance. I think the mic should be a high enough quality where they're not going to pick up your breathing. Maybe I'm wrong though.
I
We'll
hope
see.
so. I don't know.
The next upgrade, if this episode does well, is some pop filters. Is that what you call them?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
The
I mean,
little
we
black
just
things?
yeah, just like even a little foam thing that goes on the microphone works.
Yeah. Hold on.
But that's all, So the last episode got 500 views. So this one has to get 600 views. If this one gets 600 views, then I'll
You'll
buy pop
some
filters.
I guess I'll have to share this on my social media. I
Oh,
got 200.
yeah,
was it
you could
200
bring
Instagram
in
followers.
200,
Like, come on
yeah.
now.
You could heavily.
Let's go. Let's
Hey,
go.
That's as many subscribers as this channel has. Or this podcast has, I
Here's
should
a
say.
question: do you think it's a good podcast?
I'm back, by the way.
I thought the first episode was awesome. I mean, I think we are having a good time. We're having good conversations. So I listened to the first podcast, and I was in
did
it.
too. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, Bryce enjoyed it. I think most people enjoyed it.
Yeah, I had some friends that listened to it.
Audrey
that
enjoyed
liked
it.
a lot.
I think everyone enjoyed the first episode.
Podcasts are just fun. It's like you get to hang out with people, but you're not there.
Yeah,
like,
so-
that's
exactly.
cool.
so me
that is the
personally-
exact goal.
Me personally, I don't watch a lot of television, and I don't play video games.
Same.
So a lot of time, like I try to stay. I don't like it kind of clouding my mind. I guess I try to.
It
Stay.
definitely takes your attention for sure.
Yeah, so I like to be productive, but listen to. It's kind of like my TV show, right? Like listening to a good podcast while I'm doing whatever, cleaning the house or something.
Oh, I do
Yeah.
that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm a huge podcast.
P number
listener.
2, ladies and gents.
Oh, here he goes. All right, so I'm gonna continue the story.
Yep,
I've
heard it. So
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm listening.
So party bullies. It's,
Party bullies.
It's Friday night. It's game time. Party bullies are amping up. Maybe it's Saturday. Irrelevant. They're amping up to do their thing. Our booth. So I don't know if you know a lot about me, but I work for like an automotive magazine.
Yeah.
We had a
Thought
booth.
hasn't that changed a little bit, or is it?
It's a little bit different, but yeah, I do still work for them. So for those who don't know, that know me from S3 Magazine, I also have just started my own media company called Mackay Media Co. So you can check that out on all the places. But you're peeing really loud.
He is a
That's-
loud peer, and
that is
Audrey and
a-
I just kind of shared a little eye contact there. We both knew what each other thought.
That is a
Videos on my phone right now with headphones in, and I can hear your
That is a very
That's a
audible
good
pee.
thing, man. That means you got a healthy stream.
Yeah.
I can build up enough liquid in my body to push it out quickly.
Yeah. So
Well, it's actually really bad for you to push your urine out.
So I I have my own thing now. So I guess technically you could kind of consider S3 Magazine as more of a client that
Sure.
like sublets me for work or whatever. But anybody in the automotive space would probably recognize me primarily
yeah.
from S3 Magazine.
Awesome.
Anyways, we at this point in time had a booth that was right in front of the trailer that the Party Bullies were gearing up to go out for. So they'll kind of, they're blasting music. It was Federico Sharifo's trailer, or I guess primarily Nexen Tire, but it was Federico Sharifo's section. He is a Formula Drift driver from Italy who drifts a Ferrari. So they're playing some bumping music. They're having a good time, and all of a sudden, like, we just start seeing where the paddock is. Do you know what a paddock is? It's like the pit area where the cars amp up to go out on track.
Okay.
At Road Atlanta, there's like a big hill that you have to come down to access this area, right? And then all of a sudden, we just see like cop lights. Not necessarily flashing, but you know how they have like a solid mode where they like stay blue on top of the car? There was probably between 5 to 10 of these guys coming down this hill. And we were like, oh, maybe, it's just like kind of additional security looking out for us, right? But then they slowly started to circle the track, or like circle the pit area, as what I can only best describe as an intimidation tactic. So like they would roll through where everybody is and like blare the sirens. Like they would get there and then they would just like woo, or like the very loud, the like bam, bam, you know what I'm talking about? They would do that, but like not stop or say anything.
Caleb's cold.
They would not stop or say anything until they did this for 30 minutes, and then I noticed more came from the other end, and where the Party Bullies area was, they boxed us in. So there was like 3 cop cars pointing at us, and then 3 cop cars behind those on each side, perpendicular. And then the cops got out and they stood. At this point, the Party Bullies hasn't even started. They were just hanging out, drinking, playing music at their trailer.
Yeah, at their own trailer.
At their own trailer. We were all just standing there having a good time. Nobody
Seems like the Party Bullies are getting shut down.
Nobody was doing anything with cars. Everybody was just kind of minding their own, having a good time. And then the cops get out and they like line up. They weren't imagine like they were kind of like linked arms, but they weren't. They were just standing really close, like side by side to each other, just kind of standing there for, I want to say 5 minutes. And at this point, everybody like not only is confused, but kind of scared at this point.
Yeah.
Because they haven't
told you anything.
There's been no warning. There's been no guidance. They kind of just drove through, played really loud sirens, and then set up in this like SWAT formation.
Right.
So we weren't really sure. Like we didn't know if maybe there was somebody they were looking for, or like what the situation was. But it was kind of one of those things where they just kind of had their drink and everybody was just kind of looking around, but still minding their own until the little line of cops that they had that were outside of their cars started like walking forward. And then as they started walking forward, they started immediately shutting people down. Get out of here. Throw the drinks away. Federico, this professional Formula Drift driver.
With his probably multi-million-dollar team.
This dude beats the F out of a Ferrari, right? This guy's a big deal in motorsport drifting culture.
Yeah. It's a
He's
big
playing
company.
music like just through his phone, like with an aux cord. They walk up, rip the aux cord out of his phone, and confiscate his phone.
What?
And he walks up like, "Hey, I'm visually watching this. I'm like, he's like, hey, like what's going on? Like, was the music too loud? Is there anything I can do?" And they're like, "Get out of here! Like, this is done. Shut this down. Get out."
Meanwhile, like this is where they're staying. Like
Yeah,
not like-
majority of these people are sleeping in these trailers.
Yeah, it's like,
there's
what do you mean, get out?
Yeah,
this is where
this
we're
is-
here for the weekend.
Not only that, but we
Middle of the
paid,
trailer, I guess.
we paid to be here. Like, so now everybody's definitely scared and really confused and doesn't know what's happening. And they're just like, all of them are being very aggressive. And then this Road Atlanta truck comes down. So we're like, I'm talking to the guys that we're with, and we're like, okay, maybe this is going to get sorted out.
Yeah, the Road Atlanta guys are going to be like, yo, cops, what are you doing?
Yeah, the Road Atlanta guys will get this. So this guy, he pulls up, he gets out of the truck, and he walks up to, I guess, the chief or whoever the main cop is. And I hear him say, you guys have total control over the situation. And me and, my guys are like, what situation?
That's always how it is, though, right?
No, nobody's doing anything. Like, we're just minding our own business. So we get really confused. We kind of just back underneath the booth in our tent and sit down in our chairs, and we're just kind of watching this whole thing play out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And at this point, once again, at this point, it's like 1 a.m. It's Friday night, and a festival just happened. Majority of these people are very intoxicated. So before you know it,
you can't tell intoxicated people to leave because then they're going to drive home.
these car guys start getting anxious. You can see a beer bottle get thrown towards the cop cars.
Uh-oh.
Dude, I remember there was a 2JZ SC300. The guy gets in it, fires it up, just starts banging off the rev limiter. Just wah, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah,
And you know
kinda
how
like a fuck
2JZs
you.
are, backfiring. It sounds like
Right.
gunshots. And we're like, these cops are going to start shooting, dude. These dudes mean business. This is getting...
Scary.
This is elevating very fast. Something really bad's about to happen. So
They're not going to fire their guns, though. That'd be really, really
Well, the
dumb.
if you're
in the moment, you're frightened.
so there's a lot of people, and this specific car, this specific engine. Anybody listening to this podcast as a car guy understands. 2JZs, when they hit the rev limiter, it sounds like a machine gun from a distance.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Like it sounds like a event, like a mass shooting. It sounds like it. So the fear was one of these, at this point, 20 to 30 cops that are here are going to assume it as that. So we were all kind of confused. So finally, everybody's like, listen, just go to your tents. Just go to your tents. Just mind your business. Do your thing. Let's de-escalate the situation.
Yeah.
I found, working with S3, I've become, relatively good buddies with the two founders of Grid Life, and I ran into one of them, and I was like, hey, man, are you doing this? And he was like, I have no idea what's going on. Road Atlanta hasn't told me anything. The cops haven't told me anything. I'm just as confused as you are. I have absolutely no clue what's happening. So
Yikes.
yeah. So he's like, I'm walking over here because I just got told one of my staff members just got arrested. So I'm in real time figuring this out with you. He's like, I just suggest you go to wherever you're staying and just kind of lay low until the coast clears.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody starts going their separate ways, and me and my crew, we have a Jeep. It's got the top and the doors off, and we're like, well, we're not doing anything bad. We'll just cruise around and see if anybody's doing something low key, maybe somebody's throwing a low key
Yeah, go hang out by the fire, have
tent
some
party.
drinks.
Yeah, and
No, it sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah.
just kind of calm down for the night, right? So we hop in, the Jeep, and we just kind of start idling around. We're kind of at the back half of the truck. I think we were kind of mid-section of the S's, and we see these guys. They've got kind of little Christmas lights like this hung up around their tent, and it was probably a group of 4 or 5 people. Just had music at a very low volume, just kind of playing beer pong.
Oh.
Not being loud, just kind of having fun with their bros.
Hell yeah.
So we stopped and we were like, hey, some weird stuff's going on down there. Can we join you? And they're like, yeah, like that's true. And, never got crazy. Just playing beer pong, having calm, low volume conversation, minding our own business, learning about where they're from, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And then this Cadillac pulls up with Texas plates. And it was like a CTSV too, if I remember. Like it was a pretty sporty Cadillac with Texas plates. And it stopped in front of us, and we were like, "Is that no? It like can't be a cop." Sure enough, a cop gets out of it. First thing dude, it was like such a stereotype. He like grabs his belt, pulls his pants up, and he walks up and he goes, "All right, who's going to jail tonight?"
He really said that.
Dead ass.
Oh my god.
Dead ass. He goes, "All right, who's going to jail tonight?" And, once again, we're just kind of confused, and like I think it was one of my crew was like, sir, sorry, like we're just we're not
just hanging out.
We're not bothering anybody.
Right.
We're at our tent.
At our campsite.
Yeah, we're at our
To camp.
Well, you really weren't, right?
Well,
No,
yeah, but some of
they
them were.
There was a lot of tents right there. They didn't have to know.
Right.
And he's like, no, lights out, cut it out, shut these lights off, shut the music off. And like my friend Drew, Drew.
Oh yeah.
He was with me. This was actually his first event.
And
He like, in kind of like a dumbfounded way, like he couldn't believe this was actually happening. He kind of like giggled. He like looked at me and he was like, "What?"
Yeah,
like he just kind of did that.
Uh-huh.
And the cop looks at him and goes, "What's funny, bud?" And he's like, "Oh, like nothing. I'm sorry." And he goes, "All right, you're coming with me."
What?
Yeah, he was like, "All right, you're coming with me." And thankfully, like Wooly and Mike, the owners of the magazine, they were like, hey, like he's with us, like he doesn't mean any harm, and like
That is so crazy. They were aggressive.
Man, there's a lot of awesome police officers out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really good ones,
Yep.
but there are some that are kind of on a power trip.
Yeah.
Yep.
It sounds like a
So-
lot of them at that event were.
So it escalates even farther.
Oh my gosh.
So at that point, we really called it. We're like, all right, these guys are looking to take people to jail. We got to get out of here. And on the other side, like from where that paddock was, from that pit area was, there's one on the alternative side that's kind of like up a hill a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And that's where the two founders had their little like campers set up under this like awning. And they were playing, you know how you have like the larger version of Jenga? You can get like a
Yeah.
jumbo Jenga.
Hell yeah.
It was them and like a couple of the race car drivers, just like maybe a group of 5 people or so, were playing Jenga, just minding their own business. And the cops rolled up there. It might have been the same one for all I know. I don't know. They rolled up. The founder goes,
Founder of Grid Life? Okay.
not the one that I ran into before. There's 2.
I see.
It was the other one. So because he was on the other side of the track, he was not aware of what was
going on. Yeah.
He didn't see what had happened with the party bullies. So he
Pour the, get a bit of schnapps, too.
Oh
my
man.
goodness.
My brother and Audrey are egging each other on. They're taking.
Once again, it's
You're
Monday.
right.
Folks.
Bryce just kind of like eggs himself on.
I spent last night in Georgia.
Oh, there's the quest.
Give it to me.
Oh my god.
will
So a little
embark
bit of an
upon
insight
this
for the
quest.
viewers. There's a beer called Dragon's Milk, which is a 10% like very dark stout, right? Yeah, it's like a bourbon barrel aged stout.
I just want to point out that I've slayed every dragon in this 4-pack.
Well, wait, let me explain. So this is a strong beer. It's very flavorful, but very alcoholic. And so whenever we're together, we call it the quest. You know, you got to slay the dragon by drinking the beer. And so that's the saying. But I've been
failing the quest. Caleb's not embarked on the quest.
You're right.
But
I haven't accepted the quest.
I
so-
can't hang with Bryce. Bryce is too about it.
Oh yeah, Bryce.
For those of you who
Well,
don't
he went
know,
to college for 10 years, so
10 years.
I very rarely drink. It
Also
is-
very good at beer pong.
It is out of the realm. It is not under my utility belt. But Bryce can drink.
oh yeah.
Well, sometimes I fall asleep.
Yeah, actually,
He does.
to the
I
nights
can
you've
vouch.
fallen asleep.
One
That's
thing
not
that
a
I
good
can
record.
vouch
That's
for
better than my
Bryce.
Canada record. When I visited Canada, I just visited my buddy that I was telling about.
Yeah, Ian. Right.
Yeah, Ian in Canada, the one who owns the bar. And I was like, it was like every night. And he was fucking taking pictures of me too. He's like, "Who's Bryce
I took
again?"
a
I'm
video.
like,
I
yeah,
took a
like
video.
fuck you guys. Like, come on, like.
Well, it's kind of funny because you talk. I wouldn't say you talk.
I got a lot of
shit,
talk.
but you brag. You slay the dragon, and then you fall asleep.
I just need a lot of sleep.
Yeah, it's like Bryce.
Nothing wrong
If
with
there's
that.
anything I can vouch for Bryce is not a mean drunk. He just
Oh no, not at all.
he just likes to have a really good time and he gets really excited to do things until he just falls asleep doing whatever he's excited about.
Yeah, his body's like, all right, too much.
Well,
Boom.
it's literally like a light switch. He's like, I'm
God
having
damn
a
it,
great.
This is like a whole segment of the podcast now.
About
Like-
how
like,
Bryce
this is gonna
falls
be like
asleep.
it's gonna be like eternally written on the internet.
Bryce, this is gonna be a highlight reel.
Honestly, like it's a good. You
You could
could
like label the little like audio
Dude.
point like
you
Bryce
could be a
when
mean
he's
drunk.
or,
Yeah, yeah.
You could be a mean. I know some jerky drunks. You are not one of them, so take pride in that.
But so, moral of the story is that, I mean, is there more to this story?
Oh, well, the founder of Grid Life goes up to the cop, goes, "Hey, I'm the founder. Like, we're just what's happening?" And then he goes, "You're going to jail." And I'm pretty. Somebody in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong. Well, you wouldn't know this story, but I'm pretty sure he got detained.
See, that's so stupid because is a single one of those people committing a crime? Like,
No, nobody.
they were
had done
never told
anything.
not to do anything. They were minding their own business. It's just so absurd. So, I mean, pretty much what happened is, I guess the backstory is what Road Atlanta was like. All right, this is getting too crazy. We're not liking what's happening.
Yeah,
So
we
they called the cops.
want petite Lamar type people. We don't want
Right.
these.
We don't like
crazy-
these grid life partiers.
We don't like these crazy youngins. So the next day was the final day of Grid Life. So this was a Saturday night. The next day of Grid Life, when the last car crossed the finish line for the day, they got on the intercom and they were like, "Thanks for coming for the 2019 Grid Life South. We'll see you next year, but it's definitely not going to be here." They said that on the loudspeaker across the track. It was
Because the founders of
Wow.
Grid Life, like, they were usurped
Usurped.
by the track.
Great verb.
So I talked to them about
Great
that
verb.
afterwards. Supposedly,
Thank
when you rent a track out, there's like 3 tiers that you can rent. And like the top, like between the, I don't know about the first one, but between the top 2, you have the option of controlling the police force. So like at tier 3, you have control over like the police presence at the event. However, Road Atlanta does not allow you to have tier 3. So Road Atlanta, Grid Life had control over security, did not have control over police presence. So that's where Road Atlanta stepped in and went, "All right, we're axing this."
That's crazy. That they literally axed the event.
After
During
they
the
paid
event.
to host it.
Yeah,
After
during
Grid Life paid to host it.
I'm sorry. Step back a second. So
That was a
when
Friday
did they-
night.
So they killed it. When did they kill it?
That's what I'm saying. The cops, that was them killing it. That was them going, "Hey, you're not welcome here anymore."
Well, then what happened to the event after Friday night?
it still went on the next day.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
I misspoke. It was Saturday night because the next day was when they were like, we won't be back here. So they still had racing to do. It is a legitimate racing
Okay,
event.
So the racing still happened, but the after the festivities,
They basically went.
They said they'd do it at a different racetrack.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So Grid Life is a tour. So it's a racing tour. They do it.
Sonner's a little wobbly. He's got a little Jack Sparrow going on over there.
Well,
Sorry.
Hunter likes to
I move around.
animate his stories, which is great, except when your mic's not animating with you.
But whatever. If you like this podcast, you're just gonna have to deal with my inadequate audio.
Yeah, it will be fine.
Or you could just talk in the microphone. Keep going.
You're not gonna have a good podcast without being genuine.
Yeah. If I have to sit here like this, that's miserable. I'm not doing that.
Get a dragon's milk.
You want to start the quest?
No, I don't.
Sorry, this is actually the fourth quest, fourth and final.
Oh, it's the final quest. You're about to complete the main storyline.
This is like, yeah, I get like rune armor or something.
Right. You get the
was
last.
that a RuneScape reference?
That was a RuneScape reference.
I was kind of doing Skyrim stuff because it's dragons and
Skyrim's lame. RuneScape's
I'm
cooler.
pretty sure
Whoa,
RuneScape.
whoa.
RuneScape's cooler. Sorry.
You literally kill a
Whoa.
dragon and then you can wear
Whoa.
rune plate mail. or something
RuneScape
like
was
that.
my childhood.
Audrey, you don't have a microphone. I'm sorry.
But I'm
I know, but if you start actively participating,
Well, we can just kind of
in the
repeat what she
conversations.
says.
Yeah, it's true.
Bryce, you want to be my mouth?
Well, that's
I'm the
it.
mouth of Audrey.
Sorry I took up all that time on my grid life story.
No, I mean it's
But
a
I
crazy
feel like it's
story.
very interesting.
Yeah, I think a lot of people,
I've never experienced anything like
and I
that.
don't think a lot of people know about it.
That I'm surprised you didn't say that the other night when we were out. But that's pretty crazy. Yeah.
It's pretty crazy, and it's really upsetting that that's the local track. That's our local track. Is the track that
I mean, it's a
Yeah,
great,
acts
it's
like
a
that.
great track. They keep it very well maintained.
clearly they have some moral issues though.
Yeah, I still.
I don't feel like you do
I
that,
will
you
say
know?
I still am proud to have a Road Atlanta local.
The
Like,
unfortunate thing is I feel like whenever something like that happens, like what happens after that is like regulate everything, no booze, no like you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
it's
we
like
we were
the
afraid
aftermath
of
can be
that.
pretty rough.
We were afraid of that, and you would think like NASCAR's. I feel like pretty.
I feel
known
like,
for
yeah,
being
a lot of,
redneck
like,
and
they're-
rowdy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So why would you all of a sudden? I don't know. Maybe they're trying to change their image or something. But yeah, so Grid Life still happens. They do their Midwest Festival at Gingium Raceway in South Haven, Michigan, and then they also do Alpine Horizon at Colorado Pikes Peak International Raceway. So yeah, Grid Life's a good time. Go check it out. Shout out to those guys. They're really cool dudes. But anyways,
I have not been to a Grid Life event, and that's very disappointing for myself.
We could have gone.
they're Chicago based too.
Well, we will.
the Grid Life boys are from Chicago,
Yeah, they all are.
from the
It's a
city.
Chicago company.
Very nice.
Started in Chicago. And that's why I'm mostly ashamed of myself because
Frankly, you should be.
The Midwest one is 2 hours away from.
As an
where we
automotive
live.
influencer, you should be ashamed.
I know. Well, I am. So congratulations.
Michigan is 2 hours from Chicago.
Maybe it was 3, but it was like an easy drive. Like
Sure. Okay.
it's close.
Yeah, I know all of them drove.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you not gonna fly, but anyway.
Does anyone have anything else that they would like to share, like to talk about? Bryce, you said
How
something
long
about
have we been going?
having some ideas. Bryce posted in my Discord and my Patreon asking for
I did
for questions, which is awesome. Thank you, Bryce. I should have done that.
we didn't get a ton of suggestions though.
I know. They're probably like car related to
Grim
or-
Gamer asked us, Forza, whatever y'all want. Optimal Tow Rig by Simply Bubba.
Yeah, it's all automotive stuff.
Oh, of course. But I was posting in Gingium's chat, so. Tow rig. What is an optimal tow rig for you, Caleb? What do you think?
I don't know.
You probably don't. You don't
like a
have
truck. Yeah, those are all. I mean,
Forza was also mentioned. I think we actually kind of did talk about
yeah,
Forza
we did talk
already.
about Forza, and that's kind of funny that that was like the one Xbox One game
This
you
one.
played.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game.
Yeah,
it was
I mean,
like
they are fun games.
crazy, like how hard it is to drive one of those cars. Like the way at least they make it in those games.
So that's funny because I think it's so easy.
Well, like
But
it's
I've
like
also been
you
doing
press
it.
the gas at all and your wheels are spinning.
Depends on
Well,
which car, but yeah,
Depends on too
much power.
Forza is closer to being a simulator than it is like an arcade style game. So there's a lot like you can adjust your tire pressure and that affects your grip on the car.
It's pretty crazy, but I'm not surprised.
So if
Nothing
you're not
wrong
a
with
car
that kind of
guy,
thing.
Forza can be relatively difficult to get the hang of.
Yeah, it's a little too much. if you're
Versus
not
like
car guy.
a
like a Need for Speed or something.
or like a Need for Speed or like a Midnight Club, something
Yeah.
like that. That's more arcade.
You know, I would
based.
I would love to talk about like some like video games. Like I would love to have some conversations about that.
I would be kind of out on that.
Yeah, come on, you talked about playing Call of Duty and stuff.
Yeah, a long time ago. I don't.
Well, right.
do
I mean,
that much
I don't play very
anymore.
many video games,
That's true.
but like my brother and I, we kind of grew up playing games together. I mean, that was our childhood relationships.
Played my game.
We played your modification of a game.
That's right.
We
fun.
played a lot
So much
of. We
fun.
played Halo. We played. So
some Halo.
the game you modified was Total Annihilation. It was
That's
an
right.
RTS.
That's right.
Played a lot of Age of Empires. That was a good one.
Oh yeah.
What else do we play?
I mean, N64 and GameCube are kind of like the ones I still play.
You're right. Yeah, and I mean those are great games. Just they're like party games. You know, you play them and you hang out with people. Not necessarily too much about the game itself.
Yeah, but I kind of, I you know, split screen, like old school games. Like for me personally, like that's what I like. Like,
Oh, I agree.
I'll be honest with you, I'm actually getting to be kind of an old hag here.
A little boomery.
Well, like the games I like to play are the games that were like made around year 2000, which is like
So when you were in like high school, well, not quite. High
no,
school,
I was
but-
8 at year 2000. I
Oh.
wasn't.
Yeah.
You were 2.
I know that.
But no, like the old school games, like Total Annihilation was released for Windows 95.
right?
It was 95 was what it was released on.
What?
It might have been 1998 was the release date.
Oh, yeah.
But like, think about that. And the game was actually pretty fun. It's pretty easy to mod. Like these later games, like the graphics are so above, they're like so over the top. You can't hope to come up with something like that as a single person like mod. Like you can't do that. You can't come up with that kind of detail. But like I really think games do well when they have the creativity of the community.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so something like Skyrim has an actual part of the game is a mod workshop. So it allows you to build maps using like the tools that the developers made. Allows you to tweak the scripts and all sorts of stuff.
That's where it all starts.
Yeah, and you with that tool, like even I made some modifications that are not super in depth, but you can do a lot of stuff with just the built-in the mod creator, which is pretty cool. For
Yeah,
this
I remember trying to do the same thing with Age of Empires. They had like a map editor, and then it just would always crash, and then I couldn't do it.
Oof. Yeah.
But I actually did make an Age of Empires mod. I don't know if you remember.
I do remember. I remember you adding splash damage to the arrows, and that just being so annoying.
Well, the thing is, like,
it's realistic.
in reality, when like these kind of games, they like you don't fire arrows into your own units because you
In real
fucking
life.
shoot your own people.
Right. But in a video game, you want to build archers
Also,
that are good.
I
so
thought it
you
was
build
ridiculous
archers.
that a fucking swordsman could take down a stone wall.
Yeah.
That's just dumb.
Yeah, that is kind of dumb.
Anyway.
But it does kind of work for the game. So Bryce made a modification to Age of Empires that made swordsmen not be able to take down walls
Honestly,
and made
it
archers
made the
be able to
game-
hurt your own.
It made the game
units.
so much longer too because I doubled the amount of like resources in the gold and stone deposits,
Uh-huh.
and I got rid of the population limit.
Oh.
And like we would have these. I remember we played it once with like our group of friends,
Uh-huh.
and there was this like eternal battle. It was like the pathfinding plus like you could only hold like 64 units in like one little like
Right.
corral or whatever.
Mhm. Yep.
So it was just like this like eternal battle of
You
like
sent-
all the units were in one spot, and then eventually we realized like all the mod did was make the game like four times longer.
Unplayable, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Anyway,
Fair enough.
I do have some good ideas to a couple topics here with. So I grew up with Caleb. I
Yep.
know more about his younger history than probably anyone else.
Yeah, I
honestly,
mean-
really, probably anyone else in the world. I would even say because like,
Besides maybe mom or dad, but
but I don't think they knew you as well as I did. Think about it.
I mean,
Well, you know more than I do, I guess.
I can't really attest to whether as a child you knew me better than my mom or my dad, but
Well, my point is that like I was the one hanging out with you, right?
yes.
And the
yes.
6-year age gap was a little tough.
Yeah, it was a little tough when you were in high school and I was barely in middle school kind of thing.
Right. Or just like I was trying to like I remember playing like we would try to play like some kind of like football on the knees like in our basement. But then like I'd tackle you and
I
you
just
get
peed in my
demolished.
basement.
Yeah. What'd you say? Oh, you said you peed in my basement. Inside joke.
If you know,
Um,
you know.
Yeah, because so for you've got siblings, Hunter,
I
but
do.
they're closer to your age, right? Like how
I believe my youngest brother is let's see, I'm 23. My brother is 14. My youngest is 14.
Oh wow,
Well,
so
that's a
it's
huge
9
difference.
years.
Yeah. But
Nine.
my middle brother, he's 19. So yeah.
So 5 years. So yeah, I mean those are still pretty big gaps.
Yeah.
That's very similar
Were
to
you 23 or 24?
23.
So 4 years at least at the moment for a
Oh,
19-year-old.
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah,
didn't
so
do
I
math right.
obviously I am
You like having siblings?
yeah.
I love the fact I've got like I got my younger brother and my older brother, and like that's fucking awesome. Like that's so cool.
It's interesting being the oldest. It's interesting.
I wouldn't want to be the oldest.
No,
I kind of love being the youngest now. I didn't like it as a growing up
Prince.
because I felt like I was left
Called him
out
the
of
Prince.
everything. But now that I'm old, it's awesome.
I tried to bully you.
You kind of did.
I did my
You
best.
kind of succeeded.
I was a bully at one point in
I
time.
was actually thinking about nicknames that I had for Caleb, and there's a lot of ones.
Yeah,
and
so-
they're not great.
Bryce did have a tendency to give me slightly demeaning nicknames
Oh, that's
growing
an
up.
under exaggeration.
The earliest I remember, the first name that I remember was Cry Bucket. It's because I cried a lot as a little kid because I was 6 years younger,
Well, I
to be fair.
would sit on this kid.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
you
bounce
and
he
tickle
would,
me.
Well, he would go.
Yeah, when you bounce on someone, they make noises. Believe it or not, Bryce.
Or like the kidney tickle. That was a good one.
Yeah, that one was rough.
Oh, it's like painful, but you laugh.
Yeah. It's
Which
like
is always good.
kind of ticklish, kind of painful.
Right.
What are some other names? I mean, there was Kakapoo,
Oh, I got a better one. I've been kind of saving it.
Reek.
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
That was a more recent one because that was so. My brother
It's pretty bad.
called me Reek. It's
pretty
like
bad.
Reek from Game of Thrones. If you've watched Game of Thrones, you know what he's talking about. Thankfully, I was old enough
Well,
by
let's-
that point to not really give a shit.
Well, the context is there's a character in Game of Thrones that starts torturing a different character, and he calls that character
Reek.
Reek.
Yeah, that's a very demeaning.
Oh, it's as demeaning as it gets. I feel kind of bad about giving it to you, honestly. But you took it. You're like, okay, I'm Reek. I'm like,
Hey, I was a character
Right.
from Game of motherfucking Thrones. That was cool.
well, you know what? You've done well for yourself. I would never call you Reek nowadays.
Oh, thanks.
So,
What's your nickname for me nowadays?
you know it.
I'm trying to get you to say it.
YouTube billionaire.
Yeah,
YouTube billionaire. That's
That's
nice.
what my brother
He's
calls me.
saved in my phone as that. I'm not sure he's quite the billionaire yet.
No,
but,
So, definitely
I-
far away
I have
from
a
that.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What was it like seeing Caleb's come up into being a successful YouTuber, like kind of owning the platform per se?
Right.
What was that like watching as somebody who
Gone to
chose the
school.
line
Yep.
to do formal education?
Well, I mean, it was interesting. Like it, yeah. I feel like Caleb. Well, the funny thing is, I remember him doing YouTube at a very young age.
Yes,
On a different channel.
I actually have some stories about that. I would love to share too. But
Go for it.
well, I mean, so I've been doing YouTube since I was maybe 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it started as like something to do for fun with my friends. Like me and my friends would film ourselves playing with stuffed animals, and we would voice over it and make a little TV show.
I don't remember
Or I mean, that was real early. This is all still on YouTube. You can find this if you search hard enough.
I've seen it.
Please,
I looked,
no
I found
one,
it.
no one say the name because otherwise they'll find it.
The name is. Just kidding.
Honestly, I wouldn't even really care.
You can't tell that it's Caleb. It's really not even worth looking for. It's just funny if you know him.
Yeah, it is funny. But yeah, I mean, I remember making some of these videos and going to you, Bryce, and being like, "Look at this!
This is awesome.
Yeah, this is awesome!" And you'd be like, "Ooh, cool." Ooh.
Hey, at least he was kind of.
that. I've always
Cool.
been an honest older brother.
Yeah, well, I
Sometimes
mean,
it
you never.
sucks.
I don't remember you ever being like, "This is terrible."
No,
Stop
that's
doing
true.
this.
I've never done that.
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm sorry. That was my side story.
Yeah, the
But-
come up. What's it like?
Yeah, no, I don't know. It kind of came out of nowhere, I'll be honest with you. So it was like, I knew Caleb was kind of doing some YouTube stuff.
I did it in secret for a while.
Yeah, you were okay, Caleb. You have been not very well. At least now I can kind of like actually watch your YouTube stuff, and I kind of know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I do feel like we're maybe a little bit closer than we were maybe way back then.
Oh, 100%.
But yeah, it was kind of like all of a sudden it's like, oh, like Caleb's actually not going to do school anymore. He's going to do YouTube. It's like,
Did you
Okay.
think that was a bad decision?
you know, I never actually thought it was a really bad decision. I think I wasn't sure at first. But Oh, I mean, Kim, you can say what you want to say. I remember, actually, this is kind of funny. I remember my mom telling me
Oh, I would love to hear an insight on this.
that Caleb had said, "Oh, if Bryce hears I'm not going to college, he will crucify me or whatever." Like something along those lines.
That's funny.
And you know what? I think like the thing I really wanted out of that was like Caleb to be in some undergraduate institution and me to visit with him and just party with him. Like that was like the, that was like
what
kind of
you
like the
wanted?
main goal.
That's why you wanted me to go to college?
So like, I wouldn't be like too upset about that one that didn't happen.
Uh-huh.
We've had plenty of parties since then in other forms.
Yep.
But no, I don't know. In general, like I think that there's value at least in just getting a bachelor's because it does get you to some places. But if you can like do enough on your own and make it successful, then you don't need a bachelor's. And at this point, Caleb has gone well beyond that. I think that if you wanted to go into a different like he's going to be fine. Whatever he wants to do. Like he had a ton of success and has had a ton of success with YouTube. So like, yeah, I've been very supportive,
Do you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
do you know
I mean,
how
I appreciate all that.
I met Caleb?
How did you meet Caleb? Hunter?
I was actually a fan of his channel.
Oh,
You know what's kind of sad?
not the first.
Most of my friends were fans of my channel.
That's not really.
Which
That's kind of cool, actually.
yeah,
but
it is cool, but sometimes I'm like, man, can I not make friends that don't like me first?
well, that's why you got your older brother.
So this is, I told him I think it like people who watch his channel are obviously going to be people who have similar interests in him. So it's only natural that you would
Get along with those
you would
people.
get along with your
Yes.
fans.
You also get a closet blowjob.
What?
Just kidding.
What?
Audrey's laughing right now. You can't hear her, but she's laughing.
sure you can hear
Yeah,
it.
you can probably hear in the back. Dude, some of my favorite parts of podcasts are like the producers laughing in the background. That's what
that is
makes
true.
it.
That is funny.
So, Audrey, laugh all you want, dude. It's awesome.
Producer, there's. Oh, you can say that. Is it, have air quotes around it.
Yeah, Audrey's air quote producer. But yeah, so I met you. I don't think we touched on this on the podcast.
oh,
the
definitely not
first
on the
one.
podcast. No.
Your second podcast.
Yeah, but I was a fan of yours. He announced that he was building the drift truck. You're looking for a 1UZ. I had one, or remnants of one.
Yeah.
I tried to pull one out of an LS400 and put it in my Miata, but I was young and dumb and completely disassembled the engine going, I'll rebuild this, but didn't like label anything. I just kind of threw all the bolts in buckets and then went, I don't know how to put this back together.
Yeah. Terrible idea.
Yeah, it was, I get it. So obviously like it sat in my corner for months and he was like, I think you mentioned something about maybe getting like a cheaper something to you were like, I need something to like mock up or something.
Yeah, so I was doing this truck that had this custom engine. I'm talking to my brother right now because he doesn't understand all those fancy words.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Say it real.
Truck,
Doing an LS swap.
fancy. No.
LS
no.
swap
That's a
No
Volvo.
LS. There wasn't
with the
an
turbo.
LS. No turbo.
Sorry, now I'm just being an ass.
But hey, you named some. You got the LS and the
You
turbo.
got real
That's pretty
turbs.
good.
Congratulations.
But yeah, so I needed a motor to build the things to mount the motor, but I didn't want to spend the money to buy a motor at first. I wanted to make sure it would fit and stuff before buying one. So he had essentially a broken one that I could use to build the mounts and everything.
Yeah, so I had this. I wasn't doing anything with it, and my girlfriend at the time and I had been looking for an excuse to go to Chicago because neither one of us had ever been there. So I think I tweeted at you.
I do not remember.
I think I tweeted at you.
That's so funny.
You didn't even have a Gingium Twitter, do you? It's
do.
Caleb Sandlund.
No, I've got a Gingium
did you?
Twitter.
Okay.
But yeah, and you like immediately responded it. I was like, what?
It's funny because I don't use Twitter much, but it's
You
on my
did at the
phone
time.
and it's got notifications. So I still I get a Twitter notification. So if
Yeah.
someone tweets at me, I will get it right away.
But yeah, and then you were like, yeah, I could. You were like, I think you offered to come get it, and I was like, dude, I've been looking. I just kind of want to go to Chicago, and I have this. It would give me an excuse to go up there. So that's what we did.
I remember being absolutely just dumbfounded. That's a word, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. That someone would drive from Alabama to Chicago to give me their motor for free.
Yeah.
And that was this guy right here.
Yeah, that was me. And then I helped you put the axle underneath the
You
drift
did,
truck for
and
the
that
first time.
was very
That's
neat.
the very first video that I've ever been in. Nobody probably
Yeah,
knows
and
that.
so that's the funny part is he's in a video on my YouTube channel from
like
3 years ago.
5 years
Yeah.
ago.
Well, it wasn't that long ago.
It was like 4 years ago.
No, it wasn't. I've not had the drift.
No, you're right. It was at the new shop.
Yeah, no, I've
New shop. You're close.
max 3 years, probably closer to 2.
No, because we've been broken up over 2 years. So it's been 3 pushing 4 years.
That's crazy. But so the other funny thing is that I saw you one other time.
We accidentally ran into each
We
other.
accidentally
So,
ran into each other,
with S3
which
Magazine.
is crazy because he lives obviously in the South. I went to a car event. It was like a car meet, which had some influencers there. So I went there to kind of meet the influencers and hang out. And sure enough, Hunter was there. And this was in Chicago.
Yeah. We got S3 Magazine got contracted to do this crazy video deal where we had to do this 30-episode series on building a race car and driving it across the country. And so we just got Honda Pro Jason invited us. He was like, hey, I'm going to this thing.
So Honda Pro Jason is technically the reason why we met. For a second time.
For the second time, sure.
For the second time.
Yeah, and then we hung out, and then Pasha was there. The dude who had the lifted Crown Vic was there.
Oh, Jeremiah, yeah.
And then I think you came to dinner with us.
Yep.
And then we kind of just stayed not influent, but social media friends. From then on out, what are you doing?
I think Bryce
you're
has to
going
pee.
for another one. Okay,
But you were being
number 2 for
patient,
Bryce.
which is...
I tried to wait for the love story, but it was a fucking
There's a
long
little
story.
bit more. Well, so I guess, you can still kind of hear this, Bryce. The crazy thing is that I moved to Georgia after seeing you in person 3 times.
That's true. It's weird to think about, dude. After that we bonded so much on that Volvo trip.
We saw him 14
Oh yeah, 3 times.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Beginning of 2020, we came out here.
Yes.
What is that? What was that?
That was your headphone.
Okay, then we're missing a whole headphone, the whole case.
The case is right there.
So yeah, I moved to Georgia after
You almost
Pretty
lived in my
much.
driveway.
what?
You
Yeah, I almost
almost
lived
lived
on
in my
Hunter's driveway after meeting him 4 times, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I'm glad I can have that much influence on an influencer.
Yeah, man.
That was totally a joke, by the way.
Well, it's kind of true though, too. At the same time, I think Bryce's pee is pretty loud too.
This is like your pee, like mine is 4.
I'm about to
Really?
go for my first. As soon as he gets back, so we're not doing it side by side. Nobody go out that door, by the way. It's probably like a little swamp.
Oh yeah. I think I made that mistake one of the last times. I walked out the door that
And
we've all been
felt a
peeing out of,
squish.
and stepped in a pile of piss mud. If you ever,
admit, I switched spots because I saw a pool.
Bryce says he had to switch spots because he saw there was a pool.
I'm gonna go pee. That's what I'm gonna do.
Hunter, first pee. What's that total up to? That's 5? 4 peas?
Can this be?
Man, I'm not sure the emphasis on P for the podcast is like the best way to go, but I guess that's what it is. So
it
let's
makes
do
it
it.
unique.
I think the point is that
need a-
we're
we-
drinking, we're having a good time,
That's how we're portraying it.
and that's how we're portraying it.
Can we have
Okay.
I'm kind of there. Whoever is the guy on Caleb's channel that makes the updates to the Gingium extended universe.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Updates
He's got to
the
do
map.
that. You're right.
Yeah, I need that same guy because that guy's such a mega fan. He has to be listening to this too.
I feel like you would have counted
We need a P counter.
a pee counter.
Yeah, we need an official P counter because that's been kind of the trend. That was the thing for Zach's podcast. That was the thing for our first episode.
I have like secondhand embarrassment by listening to this right now.
Dude,
Can you pass me the schnapps?
it's part of the thing.
Anyone else? Come on. Caleb, you'll do some
I'll
schnapps
take a
with
little
me.
swig.
Oh
That's
my,
fine.
what are you guys
I'm
doing?
just taking a swig. all
Dude,
right?
fuck you. We're having
Audrey
fun.
can do
You
whatever
want to have
she
fun? You can
wants.
fucking have fun. You don't want to have fun? Then get out.
No, I'm out. Peppermint schnapps.
See, this is what this is all. This is why we created this podcast. Is because I can't be like this on a YouTube video. but I can be like this on a podcast.
Dude, it's still the YouTube channel. The same people are seeing it. What do you mean?
No, it's a different thing. Also, there's no video. It's like less of like a liability. I kind
That's
of
true.
feel like.
There was partial video in the first one, but it turned out not that great.
Yeah, it was kind of pointless.
I think it's cool to eventually get big enough to
Spilled it all over my beard.
Yeah, the
Great.
our stockholders are not going to give us the budget for personalized cameras for a while. You know, we got to really prove to our stockholders that this podcast is going to be a successful
I'm very
business.
interested to see if this ever becomes like revenue generating.
Hey, don't think like that. Because if you, well, I guess you can be interested.
No, I said I'm interested. I don't
that's
care
fair, that's
either
fair.
way, but it would be like the idea more so for me because you do similar things for a living, like the fact that somebody would care enough to listen to us talk for 2 hours is very, very intriguing to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, like Bryce said, like I've said, is the thing about podcasts is the thing that I'm trying to make happen is that I want people to feel like they're hanging out with us, drinking beers with us, having a good time, just kind of chatting with us. That's the whole goal for this. And it's fun for, us too, because we are drinking beers and chatting and having a good time.
Didn't he already pee?
No, he never went.
Oh, he never went.
No, he never went.
Oh, he said he was going to go pee and then he never went. I see.
Okay, I temporarily.
I mean, that's
have
what I
a
love
mic.
about podcasts. But
Exactly, and that's what
there's some-
I love about podcasts too. So,
but they gotta have good conversation too.
true, you're right. I mean, it
Like-
can't be boring stuff over and over again.
I think a lot of the people. Well, yeah. I mean, we don't have to go too much detail, but yeah, no, there's just some good stuff. Like
Yeah.
you hear what they're thinking, and you like what they have to say, and
right.
then you're engaged.
Yep. What you doing there, bud?
It's
the
funny.
quickest pee
the
I've
more,
ever heard.
the more under the influence I get, the more I realize that, like, I keep forgetting that I don't have a mic.
Audrey has stolen the microphone, and I fucking love it. I think like we should have like an Audrey period just for a little second. Quick second here.
Do you have any thoughts?
I
Anything
no
you guys want to say?
thoughts. Only thing I'm thinking about is how I keep like forgetting that I don't have a mic, and so
Audrey-
I'll like join into the
Well, hold on.
conversation.
I got some questions for Audrey. Audrey,
Uh-oh.
Audrey, when did you meet Caleb? Was he already a YouTuber at that point? I
He
can't
was
remember.
a YouTuber. He had.
I didn't tell her.
He had.
You didn't tell her,
No, I thought
was
he was a
embarrassed
drug
by
dealer.
man, dude. Caleb, why are you embarrassed about shit? Like,
Well, it's not even
Pride.
I guess that's a good question for
Confidence.
Caleb,
It was a while ago, to be fair, but yeah.
when
Keep going, Audrey.
I met him, like he had like for someone our age, because we were 18 at the time. For someone our
That's
age,
really young.
he had more money than someone that is 18 years old should have. And I had been to his mom's house. I know that he didn't come for money.
she a gold digger.
No, it's not that. But I straight up remember asking you, "Are you a drug dealer or something?" Like,
Yep. At Applebee's.
at Applebee's. It was like the first time we actually ever hung out. Like, ever, I think.
Wow.
It was one of the first times. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that would technically be counted as our first date, is Applebee's.
Mm-hmm. And
I
so that's
was-
when I told her I was not a drug dealer, but I made videos on the internet.
And I said, that's
Wow.
dope.
And she's like, "What kind of video?"
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
so
was
that
a
was...
porn.
big look.
No, I didn't know. I don't know. I just kind of was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I also remember
Yeah, you embraced
thinking,
it. I mean, I feel like a lot of people. Well, I don't think people would be not turned off, but like afraid or like that. That wouldn't be a red flag for most people.
Bryce dropped his phone.
Have the producer get it.
Oh, am I the producer?
You are the producer, yes,
Right.
and no longer with a mic.
Okay, bye, Mike.
No, I was gonna say, Audrey's welcome to take my mic at any point. Because I listen to a podcast who does, like, for some reason the producer never has a mic, but he always talks, so he just rips it out of like the host's hand, and I think it's the funniest thing ever.
That's funny.
So if you want to talk, grab it.
We got our own little Jamie over here.
Just be gentle with my $10 Amazon mic
Was
stands.
it really $10?
These were
are pretty
$10
baller.
each.
These were pretty baller.
Yeah, the stands are
Dude,
quite impressive
but
for
I'm
$10.
just-
The
It just-
microphone and the other thing were not $10.
No. Yeah, if you guys want to support the podcast, give it a like and a subscribe. Actually, I could
Should
care
we have
less
a
about
Patreon
that.
for the
Actually,
podcast
just
now?
why don't you just donate $100 to Caleb? That sounds better.
Yeah, that would make its way into the podcast, but probably
that's
not
okay.
first.
It's okay. Yeah, no worries. Don't worry.
In all seriousness, I think the most encouraging thing is like comments. Just like comment on the video. Just talk. Just
we don't have
interact.
a video here, are we?
well, yeah, but it's going to be on YouTube. So there.
Is there YouTube audio?
No, it's a video just with a picture.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
But the point is that they can comment on it.
Well, I got one
Is
more
there not-
fun topic to talk about.
All right, I'm going to go for my second P real quick.
All right. Well, you know what, Hunter? It's
Here
just
we
you
are.
and me.
This is the second night I've seen you in my entire life.
But
I
the
feel like
first
I've
night
known
was
you-
a lot of fucking fun. So
Yeah, it was a good time. That's what I'm saying. I feel like I've known you my whole life.
hell yeah, man.
It's been a good time. Well, that's not true. We did FaceTime for like 30 seconds one time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were there.
Yeah. And that was it. Then you sent me a friend request on Facebook. We've been kind of Facebook
Fuck yeah,
buddies for a
dude.
little bit.
I actually, you know what? I sent you a Facebook message like a couple of days ago. I don't think you responded.
I'm really bad with messages.
Rough.
I think I
roasted,
do
man.
remember seeing. I think I was. I know.
It was no. It was. Oh, sorry. It was. So we, for context, we went out to, went out for dinner at a place that had some drinks, and then we went to a brewery, and then there was this shuffleboard, one of those kind of like bar, like mini, like shuffleboard things. You like
Yeah, that
grab
you do with your
hand.
hands. Yeah.
But it was really fun. But the thing is that Hunter took these amazing shots of like with your phone camera.
Yeah, there's my phone.
Yeah, it was phone camera of just just kind of like someone shooting. I don't know the right word for it.
Like shuffling it.
Shuffling the
Throwing it to the other end of the
thing,
sliding it to the other end of the
and
board.
It was just a really high quality video. I'm like, hey man, that looks sick.
So
And then I got no response.
now that you,
does a very good job of taking absurdly.
I did. Oh, I did. I said, dude, nice shore.
Hunter, what?
And then I fixed it to shot.
So, oh my god, Audrey,
Audrey.
glass table, watch it.
With a
No, I'm just kidding.
$1,000 worth of recording equipment.
The
Goodness
glass
gracious.
table that I got for free because I found it in the woods.
Okay, the cooler was stuck to the ground, and I was just trying to move it out of my way.
you moved everything.
Shot off the ground onto the table, just like.
All right. The
Reel it
funniest
in.
thing is
So
that
here's
Audrey is the
thing.
drunkest of us
Reel
here.
it in.
Yeah,
and
Audrey
she's
is-
not even on the
Audrey's
podcast.
pretty intoxicated.
Okay, yeah, but that's my third piece.
Guys, reel it in. Get the fishing line and.
No, we're off the rails, baby. No, but
Gingium After Night.
Now-
or
now
After
that-
Dark, was it? Is that what it was?
Can't say that.
There's
Copyrighted.
another podcast that's called that.
Is it seriously fucking... What? After Dark? That's like a fucking verb.
To be fair, I don't know if it's copyrighted.
It's an adjective. It's not a
It's
verb.
definitely not copyrighted.
so, anyways, now that you mention it, I do remember you singing that story. I remember exactly where I was. I was underneath my 4Runner at night in the dark, pulling the transmission out of it,
Oh, so that was recent.
and then my phone was in my pocket and it buzzed, and I pulled it out, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, Bryce messaged me, and I opened it, and then I saw like, nice shore. And I was like, and then
Oh, man.
and then
That's rough.
and then I was really confused, and then I think I do remember you like correcting it to
I
shot.
did, but it was like 10 minutes later.
Yeah,
But
but
that's a rough
So that means
message.
So-
you went
Rough
back and
message.
checked and saw that you had misspelled it.
That's true.
so the
I did
thing
do
was,
that.
I kind of assumed that you meant shot. Like I kind of pieced it together.
But you don't... Yeah.
Well, but here's the thing. Here's why I didn't respond. I wasn't sure if you were being sarcastic or not.
What? Actually, this is something I wanted to bring up earlier because you mentioned it in your story about how, like, the friend of yours was like being super genuine, and the person just like saw it as pure sarcasm.
Oh yeah, the
I've had that
Throwing
happen like
story.
multiple times. It's like sometimes it's weird. People are so like
quick to assume you're
quick to assume some
just
kind
being
of
negative.
yeah, some kind of negativity is the broad term, but like some kind of like almost combativeness.
Right.
And I've actually found that myself, like because I sometimes I come into a situation, I'm like, hey, like I'm really sorry, like I fucked this thing up,
Yeah.
or like this didn't happen as I planned, and it's it's a problem, and I'm really sorry. And like I've had people that just kind of like
Sure you are.
yeah, exactly. It's It's
Like,
crazy. I
fuck
think
you.
there's such
I'm
a
trying to finally. Yeah.
there's such a lack of like genuine sincerity
Mm-hmm.
that like people are so quick to assume the worst
Right.
when people are
People are the worst.
not saying that everyone is, but there's some people that like there are some really like genuine people out there, and like people apologize, and like I feel like you gotta for sure, take them at what they're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I think most people are good, but
Yeah. So
there's a lot of divisiveness.
So yeah,
and
that's
stuff.
why that was the real that first of all, I was really cold, covered in grease, and then I read it and I was like, oh, awesome, Bryce. But then like I second guessed myself. I was like, wait, is he like being funny? And then I was like, how do I respond? I don't want to respond and be like, oh, thanks, and then him being like, no, I was kidding, it's freaking terrible, and then I look like an idiot. So yeah, I just didn't respond. That's my bad.
I don't know. I feel like this is why you're bad with girls.
Yeah. Well, that's out there now. That's out there now.
Hunter's Battle Girls. It's official.
No, okay. Well, since he brought it up, it's kind of like an inside joke that I am traditionally bad with speaking to available women of similar age.
That's a good way to put it. Well, is there anything else? Any other
I don't
things
want
you
to. I
guys
don't want
wanna
this.
talk
I'm
about?
having a good time.
I'm having a good time
I'm
too,
having
but
a
we have to
great
have stuff to
fucking
talk
time.
about.
What are
We are at 2 hours.
That is a good time to end it. I got some more stories, but I don't want to I'm not gonna bring them up unless the context comes.
I have a pretty bad drunk story.
just winked at Audrey.
Sure. What is your bad? Did you say drug or drunk?
Drunk.
Okay. I mean, hey,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do drugs.
Perfect. Let's
More
hear
power
it.
to you.
Yeah, drunk and drug stories. Let's go. Let's go.
Now we are officially after dark.
Oh man, this is awful. I might regret this.
It's
All right, we're
man.
doing it. We're doing it. I'm
Yes,
already committed.
yes.
We've already committed.
Yes.
So, another Grid Life event. I am like pretty freshly 21, I would say. Yeah, this is the month after I turned 21.
So okay, and the first time you got drunk was a week before you turned 21, correct?
A couple months, but yeah.
Oh, a couple months. Okay.
It was a couple months. The first time I got drunk, I was 20, and it was Vegas and SEMA, but that's not the story.
Well, but the point is that you had been drinking for maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
So very, very new
I
to
didn't
it.
start drinking early, but and that's genuine. That's not me saying that. I was very against alcohol up until 6 months before I turned 21. But anyways, so obviously, like, I'm very freshly 21. This is the second time I've drank ever. And we go to this Grid Life event. It's festival time, and like my friends from Chicago that host the event, it was my first time at the Midwest Festival in Michigan. So they were very excited that I'm there, and they were like, "Oh, for your first Midwest, you got to get."
Got smashed.
So they like start handing me things. They got to drink a couple beers. At this time, I didn't know that you aren't supposed to mix, like, what do they call it? Like, you don't mix lights and darks.
Yeah,
and stuff
beer
like that.
before liquor, never sicker, or something, some bullshit like that.
Liquor before beer, you're in the clear.
Ah,
Beer before liquor, never been sicker.
I'm not sure if that's real.
Well, just based off of this night, I would say that it was.
Well,
it's
I would
fairly-
agree that mixing alcohols is definitely real. I don't think there's an order that does work and doesn't work.
Well, I mean, the point is that it's easy to take liquor shots, and like they do more in terms of your alcohol inebriation.
Right.
So if you do them first, you're probably okay. If you do them second, you're fucked.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's kind of hard to control once you got a few beers
Exactly.
in you. Then
Exactly.
you start. Yeah.
But literally everyone does them
And-
after they've had drinks.
Yeah, it's mixed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, Hunter.
Yeah, so I start. They like hand me a couple beers. I down a couple beers. Then they like go off. They get like, I remember it was like Jack Daniel's honey whiskey. At this time, I didn't know that you couldn't drink liquor like you drink a beer. So they hand me like basically like a whole bottle to myself. So I just start gulping it.
Yeah, Bryce is making a face of dumbfoundedness.
Wait,
going.
are you really confused?
No, keep going. Keep talking your story.
Well, the one thing I'll say is that I feel like when I started drinking, the taste of liquor just made me so sick that I would never have been able to drink whiskey like it was beer.
I wanted to be cool.
I guess I could see that.
I hear that.
Especially in that event where it's your first time there, you're kind of just trying to
I was having a good time. My friends were having a great time. I wanted to have a great time with them. And if any of them listen, Chris, any of those guys, I say Chris because he was the one that was like, you have to get messed up. But
man, if I have Good Life guys watching our podcast, that's awesome.
they're just dudes.
I know.
Actually, Chris is a fan of your channel. He's the guy that you met at SEMA.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Anyways, so I'm like down in this, and then I remember, like, I'm having a great time at first. I remember the festival ended, and then they had like a silent DJ. I am sure you're aware of what that is. Yeah?
Wait,
Are you not?
I'm actually very curious. Do you not know what a silent DJ is?
Hunter, please educate.
You really?
Uneducated brain. What is this silent DJ?
Bryce, you obviously know what it is, but that's all right. We'll tell the rest of the viewers what it is.
I really don't know.
No, Bryce doesn't know what's going
I'm
on.
really
So,
confused.
a
Did
silent
Bryce
DJ
just all of a sudden get really hammered?
A silent
No.
DJ is
Of course not.
it's like a normal DJ. So there's the DJ, and then there's all the people at the party at the
sleeping
rave. What? I can't hear what you're saying.
Dude, he's going to fall asleep halfway through this podcast.
no.
I said I'm not sleeping yet. Keep talking.
I was trying to talk, and then you were talking, and
I'm sorry. I had to interject. It is tough, I will admit, because I've listened to a lot of podcasts, and it is hard. As soon as you get more than like two people, you get people that you got more than one person who kind of wants to talk at the same time.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that does make it a lot harder to listen. So
you gotta really focus, and you just gotta let people talk. I feel like
not that time. No, that time I had to interject.
that's fine.
Are we?
But it usually stays on the rails.
I'm watching
Better.
a brother quarrel right now. So it's fun.
I'll put him in his place. That's why his name is Reek.
Hey,
Oh
you're our
gosh!
guest.
Oh my! God.
I can turn your microphone off with this little button
Oh
right here.
my gosh! This is we are off
I think
the
I'm just
rails.
gonna mute.
Oh, no!
Bryce. Oh wait, I don't know how to do it. Never mind. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Whatever.
See, the thing I don't want to do is like Trump and Biden in the second presidential debate when they decided they would like mute people's microphones. Like, imagine if one of them kept talking when their microphone was muted. They would have instantly lost the entire race. So when Caleb told me he muted me there, I was like, all right.
That's
I'm
it.
going to hang tight.
I'm done.
Because there's nothing worse than like, well, I guess we don't have a video going now, but if you had a video going and you see someone like talking
and
just
no
not
sound.
getting their voice resonated, like
It's the
like,
ultimate.
It's like the ultimate F you.
Right, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
They're out.
Yeah,
They are full out.
But you know what? You know what would be even funnier? Just watching them like own it. Like they just start talking and then you just see them.
No, but there's no way to like be like passionate about something
Yeah.
and then just like stop. Like you just like you're an idiot at that point.
yeah,
There's
that's
no
pretty bad.
other way to
Oh,
describe
dude,
it.
that's so fun. Imagining that is so funny. So, anyways, back to the drunk story.
Oh, I forgot about the drug stories.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is
So it's
where
just getting good.
this is where it got unchained. Where do you actually know what a silent DJ is?
Oh, that's what happened. Yeah,
Are-
yeah.
are you-
okay,
are you
so
messing
a,
around?
a silent
not know what a
DJ.
silent
Okay, so a silent DJ is where you have, at least at this Grid Life event, sometimes it's just one, but at this Grid Life event, there was 2 DJs on, like, directly across from each other. And in the middle, there's tables that have headphones. And you could switch the headphones to blue, or you could switch the headphones to red. The DJ wasn't playing over speakers. It was only coming through the headphones. So you have to be wearing the headphones to hear what the DJs are playing. So it's...
And if you take off the headphones, it's
It's
just
silent.
quiet.
So everybody's raving. They're playing like crazy EDM music, but to the open world, it's completely silent. So everybody's like,
I think it's
kind
kind of cool. It's a cool idea.
is
I've
really
never been to
cool.
one, but
It's a lot funner than I was into. At like the sound of it, I was like, no, that sounds dumb. But like when I was in it, Like, and
it's
you're
unique.
looking, and
It's cool.
only the little circle
and
knows what's
half-
going on.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
something kind of like freeing and cool about that.
I have heard about people doing that for parties, but I haven't actually been to like an experience like that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
kind of fun. But anyways, I remember this was kind of the last thing that I remember at this point.
That's
Dude,
how you go.
I'm probably 6 beers and half a bottle of whiskey in.
Oh my gosh.
So you could imagine this is me being 6 months into drinking. Period.
Right. So
Um,
you're hammered.
I'm bad, not
Yeah.
good. I remember being there.
It's about to get bad, is what you're trying to
I
say.
remember thinking, "Wow, this silent disco is awesome," and then saying that, and then my boss at the magazine going, "This sucks," and I was like, "Oof."
Yeah.
And
I
then-
do remember Wooly hating on that a little bit.
Yeah. So then my mind, I kind of black out, and I'm in the bathroom, and I'm using the bathroom,
Oh, just using the bathroom.
like, and yeah, I'm peeing in the urinal,
Oh, normal. Okay. Not yet. Not bad yet.
in the urinal or whatever. No, not bad. I'm just peeing in the urinal. This is where my mind comes to, and I've somehow befriended 4 other dudes in the bathroom. I don't know how. I don't know what I said to them, but whatever I did, they thought it was hilarious.
And now
and like,
they're your friends.
now we're all friends. And then I remember Jesse finding me, and he was like, "Hunter, this is where you've been." Jesse is my partner at the magazine. I remember like, Jesse, he's like, "Oh, Hunter, this is where you've been. Come on, bud." Like, what I thought he was just being super friendly, but he was really trying to like guide me back to safety.
Right. He knew that you had entered the no memory zone.
Yeah. So I black out again. Now I'm under a tent, and they think I'm hilarious, whatever I was doing. So they hand me another beer,
Uh-oh.
and I chug it. For some reason, that was a good idea.
Uh-oh.
I do remember doing that. I remember the guy saying specifically, "This is my last beer. I'm giving this to you because you deserve it." What I did to deserve it, I don't know. Shotgun it or
Well,
whatever.
but this is a good sign, because that means at least for the majority, maybe not the majority, but some of this, you were awesome. Everyone was loving you.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't know.
Isn't that funny how sometimes when you get like super smash, just like all your good personalities come out and you're just awesome and everyone loves you?
Yeah, I guess so. But I black out again, and this time I'm in my bed, and it's 7 a.m.
Oh no.
I don't think anything about it. I don't even recognize that I had lost hours, and I felt fine at first.
I was gonna say.
I felt fine. I got up and I start getting ready, and I go into the living room, and they're sitting at the table, and they just are looking at me. And I was like, what's up, guys? Like, good morning. And like, Jesse looks pissed. Wooly's laughing. Mike is just like looking at me like, "You're an idiot." And then we had a videographer with us at the time who looked infuriated with me. And I'm completely unaware of what is I'm like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "You don't remember anything." And I was like, "What are you talking about? Last night was awesome."
I have a feeling it wasn't awesome for everyone else.
And
Dude, you were fine. I'm sure it was fine.
yeah, like, apparently so. So apparently I obviously got very, very bad. And to preface how bad I am, the guy who gave me that last beer, I ran into him a year later, and the first thing he said, he looked at me. This is the first time we've seen each other since this night.
Right.
He looks at me and busts out laughing. This is the
Oh,
first thing. He doesn't
no.
say anything. He just busts out laughing. And I go, "Why? Like, what's up? Why are you laughing?" He's like, "Because my last memory of you is you crawling on your hands and knees between 2 race cars, going, 'I'm looking for my car keys.'" Like, I flew there.
Hilarious.
You flew there, so you didn't have your
I didn't even have a car there, but I was crawling around
Looking for your keys.
You bring your keys and you fucking drop them somewhere, then
Um,
you need your car keys.
but
Sure.
anyways,
Doesn't matter if it's a car that's there.
Well,
So-
clearly he didn't bring his car keys.
apparently I get sick, like, and whatever. The problem comes to when they take me home.
So this is that last night.
So we had to drive We had a Honda Pilot with us, and then we had our race car, which is the Civic Type R. They put me in the back of the Pilot. Jesse's up front. Woolie's driving. Woolie is just absolutely done with me. Jesse's like, hey, I need your help helping Hunter. Hunter needs help. And Woolie just turned Metallica up on the radio and just pretended I wasn't in the back seat. Because apparently I was just sitting there going, let me out. Let me out.
And he drowns you down with Metallica.
Yeah. Yeah. So they get me back. Apparently I've kind of like passed out up against the window of the Pilot.
Yep.
And
So they
Woolie
get
just
you back to your
opens
Airbnb or something?
Well, yeah, Woolie just opens the door, and I fall out of the Pilot, and like get hung on the seatbelt. So
do you remember any of this?
Not at all.
Not at all?
Not at all. My last memory was just sitting under the tent
Oh my
at
gosh.
this guy's campsite. This is them telling me what happened the night before. So supposedly Mike puts me in the bathtub. At some point,
Wait, is this the motorized bathtub?
No, this is not the motorized bathtub.
at some
I had to
point,
ask.
I apparently crawl out of the bathtub, crawl into the living room beside where the videographer was sleeping on the couch, and proceed to just blow chunks all over the living room carpet.
Oh, Christ.
So Mike tells me, dude, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning to Mike, get him.
Oh, man, that's fucking
So-
rough.
So they,
That's so bad.
so they all had to get up in the middle of the night, everybody except for me, and clean my mess up in the living room because it was an Airbnb.
I've done that.
And
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah,
and
different
then
form.
they just put me in the bed, and I woke up the next morning, and apparently I had, vomited out of the window on the way home that night, and the Pilot. So Mike goes, I've been up since 6 washing the car. I
The
get
puke
in.
was all over it.
So I'm like, okay. They're like, whatever. Let's go to the track. I get in the car, get a mile down the road, and proceed to vomit on the car on the way to the track.
Wait, this was after he cleaned it?
Yeah, so this is the next morning.
This
Then
is
he
the
vomited
next
on
morning,
it again.
Dude.
I
know your
vomited.
boundaries. Fuck.
It was the second. Is it like your second time drinking ever?
Yeah, it was my second time drinking ever. Not only that, but I was supposed to be filming, right? I was supposed to get in a race car as soon as I got there. So I'm like trying to get myself together. I'm like, okay, I've obviously
do not do that, please.
I've obviously done something bad. I get out of the car, I grab my helmet, and then I go, I got to go get in the car. And Mike grabs the helmet, and he was like, you are not getting in that car. Go sleep in the van. So I proceeded to go sleep in the van the rest of that day, and I did not get in that car.
Well, that sounds nice.
Probably
You
for
got
the
to
better.
sleep.
Probably for the better.
No,
No,
not.
yeah,
I
100%
probably. I was not driving the car. I was riding in a car.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I didn't make that clear.
Just want to let everyone know that the dragon has been slain.
The dragon's been slain.
The dragon has
Bryce
been
completed
slain.
the
I'm
final
still
quest.
on my second Twisted Tea.
Yeah, I'm on my second beer. Don't worry
I'm
about it.
I'm lame. I can't hang. I feel like
You totally fucking young on Saturday.
I feel like I'm kind of the grandpa of the group out of the four of us. Audrey's more down to hang than I am.
That's true. That's not a bad thing though.
Mostly Audrey and I taking shots.
Sometimes
True.
sometimes I wish I could hang more, but I'm kind of like an old man. I don't like that crazy story. That was only because it was my second time drinking and I did it by accident.
Yeah. I mean, I would agree with the fact that at least, like, if something like that happened to me today, it would just be miserable.
Caleb, you got any stories? You could tell a story of.
You want me to tell a story about you?
Nah, I mean, yeah, if you want to. I was gonna say, like, do you want to tell a story? Because like Hunter just told a story.
Yeah, that's really embarrassing. I kind of regret that.
Nah,
That's
dude,
all right,
come
man.
on.
I think I've maybe told this story to you, Hunter. But so,
Oh wait, yep. It just clicked. Yep.
Hunter immediately knows what it is.
It just clicked.
That's so funny. All right, so
I
fun
could,
ass
Wait,
time.
whoa, can I say it or no?
What?
That one night, so we were playing Catan Cities and Nights, and we took.
I just
Bryce is making like a drinking.
Yeah, I just realized Bryce is pretty intoxicated.
No.
Okay, just say whatever you want to say. It's fine. This podcast is off the rails. So.
No, we took some fucking edibles. It was like 20 milligrams.
Oh, and then we tried to play Catan.
It was even me 25.
Yeah, no, it was 15.
No, it was 20. It was 20.
Either way, that story that Bryce is talking about, yeah, we're trying to play a new
beat the
strategy
entire game before the game was played.
Yeah, because I read the rules
Because
wrong.
Caleb read the rules wrong.
Because I
But-
was high, so...
I remember we got to like turn 3 and people realized that I had already won.
Yeah, and then we're like, wait a second, this isn't right.
Right.
And then we reread the rules, yeah.
Yeah.
So that sucked.
Yeah.
Anyway, so...
I was so high though. Jesus fucking Christ, it's terrible.
It sucked. Yeah, no, that was not fun. I'm sure a lot of people have those experiences, and they aren't fun.
Yeah, you don't want to date too much.
This other story that we were prefacing this, prefacing this entire time, prefacing, same thing. So one time my brother was in town to visit. No, actually, wait, I think that was that same night. It was the same night, Bryce,
Same night as what?
as the edibles with Catan. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was the night we played Catan was the night.
Well, no shit.
Oh, okay. I kind of forgot about the fact that it was that same night. So the night starts off with us. Dumbass. Yeah, fair enough. My older brother can call me a dumbass as much as he wants.
I'm sorry. I've been really mean to him this podcast, but I did call him Reek for several years.
And you did this podcast too.
Yeah. You called him Reek.
I don't call you Reek anymore. I call
You
literally
you
just-
definitely called him Reek.
What?
Yeah.
No,
You
I called him
did.
YouTube billionaire.
No, you
No,
also
you
called me
didn't.
Reek.
You called him Reek, and we all went, "Oh!" and it was great.
And you forgot about it.
All right, Bryce is about to take a nap.
Very funny. Continue with story.
All right. So my brother was visiting. We were in town, and this was not like meant to be a night that we were partying or doing anything like that. We were just playing Settlers of Catan. You know, we like strategy games, so
We do.
I had my friend over. Bryce was over. Bryce's friend was over. Audrey was there.
Yep.
We were
Really?
gonna play Catan, but now we were going to play
Catan.
a new version of Catan with the boats. Yeah, the boat expansion. But we didn't know the rules. So we did possibly do some edibles right before trying to read the instructions.
Terrible idea.
Yeah, so...
Terrible idea. I've been here before too. New games are best played sober.
Yeah, 100%. New games are best played sober. Because it's just not fun when you're trying to figure out a
No,
game
it's
and under the influence of anything.
It's not.
So anyway, those things kicked in while I was trying to read the instructions. And it's kind of like, you know, for the first couple paragraphs, I was like, oh, I'm totally understanding this. And then it kicked in, and I just did not understand anything I was reading. Or I did, but then I kind of forgot about it. And then I was reading something else, and I tried to remember the thing I just read kind of thing. But I was kind of too embarrassed to say it, you know, and I was also like, I'm taking charge of this moment because it was kind of hectic. Like, I just wanted to play the game. So, all right, I read the instructions, and then I explained it to everyone. But clearly, I had read the instructions wrong or remembered them wrong and started explaining them wrong. And so we started playing the game. Bryce won in 3 turns, and then we're like, wait a second, this isn't right. And didn't we end up just like stop playing the game?
No, we just decided to play with the other rules. I don't remember what happened after that. But,
Well, so anyway, after that, we started playing Super Smash Brothers.
oh yeah, way after that. Yeah.
Which I played for the very first time last week.
What?
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Deprived child.
Irrelevant. Continue your conversation.
We started playing Super Smash Bros.
Mhm.
And now Bryce's friend that was there was super good at Super Smash Bros.
He's so good.
And
He
it
sucks.
was actually Bryce and I versus Bryce's friend. So it was like a 2v1. So we had the advantage, but Bryce's friend
No.
still kept winning.
No.
You know, like when people are good at Super Smash Bros, they're
they just fucking
so
they just destroy.
good.
They
Yeah,
destroy.
yeah, yeah.
Doesn't matter.
And so we were playing it for bong rips or shots. So whoever lost either had to do a bong rip or a shot. And so we kept doing bong rips because, I don't know.
It's better than a shot.
Yeah, it's better than a shot. I mean, you can only take too many shots before you're very sick. But I feel like bong rips are a little bit easier, maybe.
Yeah, you get to a point when, like, more weed, you're just kind of already super high, you know? Just kind of, well, unless it's edibles. Edibles are...
Yeah, well, edibles is
compound.
a whole different level for sure.
Don't do that with edibles, but with, like, normal weed smoking, it's not as big of a deal. This is a good story, but yeah, I feel bad at what's going to happen, but you might as well say it.
So...
this is my favorite part.
Yeah, eventually, Bryce's friend was like, all right, you guys can't keep doing bong rips. Because, like, you know, we were fine. We kept doing the bong rips, and maybe we got a little bit more high, but we weren't
I
getting
cannot
sick.
see you doing that.
Doing what?
Continual bong rips. So
yeah,
out of your
I
character.
couldn't either, but I definitely drank a decent amount by this point, too. So Bryce's friend, anyway, was like, all right, no bong rips. You got to take shots. So we didn't really put up a fight. We didn't, like, defend ourselves. We just took the shots.
Nope.
And this was like our third or fourth time losing. So we had just done at least 2 to 3 bong rips. We'd been drinking all night. Like,
We were fucked.
this was a recipe for disaster.
Disaster.
Sure enough, after we take the shot, I'm doing fine. You know, everyone else is doing fine. But I look over at Bryce, and Bryce is on the couch, and his head is slumped, and he's kind of like, you know, head bobbing, and just clearly not doing well.
Not having a good time.
Not having a good time. So I asked him, I was like, hey, Bryce, do you need a bucket? Like, should I go get a bucket? And you kind of just nodded. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go get a bucket. I, like, casually stand up, and I start kind of strutting over to the kitchen, totally not realizing that this might be an important moment to focus and be quick about something. Yeah, Audrey had already tapped out at this point. She was already sick in the bathroom. That's actually a good explanation. That's why Bryce wasn't in the bathroom, because you couldn't go into the bathroom because someone was already in the bathroom. So you were
One
starting...
bathroom apartment.
Yeah, 1 bathroom apartment. So I'm starting over to the kitchen, and I'm not realizing this is an important moment. I'm like, hey, Bryce, what size bucket do you want? Well, wait a second. No, it gets better.
Sorry, jumping the gun.
You're jumping the gun.
Jumping the gun.
Yeah, I just thought it was a good idea to ask what size he wanted. Because, you know, it can't be too small, it can't be too big.
You're such a dumbass.
Yeah.
Dude,
I kind of screwed that one
I'm having
up.
so much fun watching you guys recount the situation.
Yeah. So I'm like halfway to where the buckets are in my kitchen, and Bryce's friend comes sprinting past me. Like, he pushes me over and is running towards the bucket. He's like, where's the bucket? Where's the bucket? And then I hear it. And now
man.
there's a wall in between our kitchen and our living room where Bryce was. And so I walk around the corner of this wall, and what I see is best described as like a murder scene. There is throw up everywhere. All over the special couch that Audrey loves, all over my apartment carpet, all over the table, and Bryce is just kind of slumped over at the edge of the couch, like looking disappointed at himself. And I remember Bryce tried to convince me. Bryce tried to convince me to not. Uh-oh. Something's happening to Bryce right now, and I'm a little scared.
Oh my god, this is awesome. Let's keep going. We're on a roll, dude.
Bryce tried to convince me to not clean it up. He was like, just don't bother. It's too bad. I'll pay someone to come and replace it all tomorrow. I'm like, no, Bryce, we cannot sleep. We can't do anything. We'll throw up all over my apartment. We have 2 cats who would probably try to eat it all. So, sure enough, I mean, this was at like...
Dude, I tried to play the money card.
Yeah, you tried to play the money card. But this was at like probably 2 to 3 a.m., and I remember spending the next 2 hours cleaning that up. And you did help. Credit to you, you helped as much as you could. I ruined my vacuum cleaner because I vacuumed it up. That was a mistake. That vacuum smelled like throw up for the rest of my use of that vacuum. But it was the best vacuum I've ever bought, which is really upsetting.
Guys, I remember Caleb. Caleb was like, "Hey, like, do you want to go to Jewel and rent like this like carpet cleaner?"
Yeah, it's like one of those water
Like,
vacuum
this is the
carpet
following
cleaners.
day, and I had the fucking hangover of like death.
Really? I didn't know that.
Oh well, I like saw that. I'm like, no, sorry, Caleb, I can't do that. I was like, nope.
Yeah, so
I
the next day,
really could not do that. I was so fucked. I couldn't do it.
the next morning, actually, I woke up and the apartment still smelled like throw up.
Ugh.
And it was nauseating because, I mean, I was hungover too, all right? But I was hungover too. But I went to Jewel, rented a carpet cleaner, cleaned the entire carpet of my living room.
I think I offered to pay for it and never did.
No, you did. I think so.
Oh, I did pay for
Pretty
it?
sure
That's
you
good.
paid for it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, Bryce did pay for it. But yeah, it sucked. So I guess the one thing that's special to that, the special thing of that story to me is that Bryce always outdrinks me. And so this was the one time where Bryce got sick and I didn't.
Yeah, to be fair, we did omit the previous like 3 stories of me and Caleb partying at his place and him occupying the one bathroom.
Yep. I've done that. Yeah, no, I'll own it.
I've
That's
It
never-
why I
happened.
own
I've
it.
never-
It happened a few times. It wasn't as epic as his story because
I didn't throw up all over the carpet. I made it to the bathroom.
but I think he started the story with saying that Audrey was already in the bathroom, so I couldn't have made there.
Yeah.
Anyway,
true.
no. But regardless, no. Caleb definitely was more. I don't know the right word for it.
I have been the sick person at a party more than you have.
I've never been
I'm
with
not
Caleb
sure
and he's
about
gotten
that,
sick.
but,
Yeah,
You've never gotten sick with me.
I've done a good job. I mean, I kind of know my limits now.
But then again,
like to
yeah,
think-
I don't get
Go
crazy
for it.
that
Pete.
frequently.
Yeah, I kind of have to go for number 3 too.
Wow.
Man, the siblings are on a very similar pee schedule. It's kind of
Wow,
weird.
yeah, you've.
So this is definitely a crazy podcast.
This is. I'm a little overwhelmed, to be frank.
Yeah, a little overwhelmed, maybe slightly a little embarrassed about some of the things we've shared.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I mean, this is who we are. So like, let's be proud about it. You know,
That's who we are. And if you got, dude, this is
this is literally like you're hanging out with us. Like we're not holding
this
anything
is
back.
Unchained, man.
Exactly.
But
that's
I
what
can't believe this is
about.
going on the internet, but it freaking is. So
It's
here
going
we
on the
are. Let's
internet.
be proud of it. Let's
Unedited.
be stoked on it.
Exactly.
And you know, if you didn't agree with some of the things, then that was us in the past. We're better in the future.
Well, we've done. It's also somewhat us in the present, but Hunter looked at me disappointed. Hey, man, I'll have my views. I am entitled to my views, as is everyone. But what I was going to say is that the cool thing is that I think pretty much everybody either has a story about getting too under the influence,
messed up.
or their friends getting too under the influence. So it should be pretty relatable. I mean, almost everyone's gone through something like that, and I think everyone has
If you
a
haven't, good for
similar mindset afterwards, where like, yeah, maybe that kind of sucked. Maybe I'm a little embarrassed about it, but like, I'm never gonna forget that moment. And for that, it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, like that grid life story is obviously miserable, and
But you can pull it out and make everyone laugh.
but
and-
yeah, like that's just it's part of my story, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. I bet you there are 17 people. What? No, there's probably gonna be more than that, but
Hey,
less than 100 people.
if you're watching
right
this
now.
late, DM us something cool.
Let's come out. Should we? I mean, this is probably good, right? That's a good place to end it. That story.
Obviously.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
if you made it this far, comment. What do you think? What should they comment, Hunter?
Literally comment the words something cool.
Something cool.
And you
All right.
commented something cool.
Just comment something cool. I like that. See, Hunter pulled through. You got it.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching.
You can check us out
Yeah,
on
I'll have
Instagram.
links
What's your
to
Instagram?
all of our Instagrams or anything like that. Yeah, there are cops in the background. Don't know what's happening in our little city, but hopefully everything's fine.
Bryce, thanks for joining us.
Yep.
I'm Hunter. That's Caleb. This is Bryce.
And this is
Two Peas on a Porch.
TP's
Goodbye.
Porch.